Mr. Damn. Yeah.
It's the way he grabs on himself when he's getting closer to the girls be like, it's the white beater, wish you were the one in the drop top juicy. I can't blame him if he wasn't my shit. I would try to claim him, cause he's so fly. I'm so fly. You play yourself if you try to deny it.
I'm nothing like the other brothers. I got no choice but to slutter. Cause I'm in a 10-6 with a beige gut that looks something like another butter. Da-da-da-da. Mommy, you'll be in St. Tropez, riding jet skis and mopeds, got them like Lopez. Paparazzi snapping pictures, they must think you J-Lopez, bitch. Let's roast some spinach, hit a club and just post a minute. What you mean, are we here yet? I got a Learjet that gets to the West Coast in minutes. I'm smoother than white vanilla fudge and white and yellow studs. Cause if they witness how I'm killing them out here, these girls just might go tell a judge I rest my case.
It's the way he grabs on himself when he's getting closer
You
to
feeling
the
that,
girls be
right?
like, it's the white beater, wish you were the one in the drop top.
Come on, let's ride.
I can't blame him if he wasn't my shit. I would try to claim him.
I'm sure you
cause
would.
he's so fly. I'm so fly. You play yourself if you
Now
try
what you
to
say,
deny
girl?
it.
You could be prancing through ghettos in Dior pants and stilettos. All you gotta do is swallow some kids like that witch did Hansel and Gretel. Who's as handsome as Ghetto? This man's earrings look transparent. And my Mitchell and Ness throwbacks be so old they could be somebody's grandparents. Baby, like, I want the kind of money athletes consume. I have to assume I'm no fool, but I'm so cool. When I walk in, it feel like it's a draft in the room. Ooh. I'm so sick, I drive in reverse pass. Call me a nurse fast. Shorty, just lay back in the Maybach. It'll feel like you're sitting in first class. Relax.
It's the way he grabs on himself when he's getting closer
You
to the
feeling
girls
that,
be
right?
like, it's the white beater, wish you were the one in the drop top.
Come on, let's ride.
I can't blame him if he wasn't my shit. I would try to claim him.
Sure you
cause he's so
would.
fly. I'm so fly. You play yourself if you
Now
try
what you
to
say,
deny
girl?
it.
They asked for it, so I put TVs in the headrest and the dashboard. You gotta catch it on tape, cause when the truck stopped, the rims still look like they on fast forward. I'm sipping liquor the color of Smurf skin. As long as the earth spin, and you'll get seasick. And my waist be thick enough for them Chinese to surfing. Cowabunga. Your low riding denims look like midgets is hiding in them. They say I like it from the front, they like it from the back. But when the kid is sliding in them, they be screaming. The biggest dice be switching for dudes with figures like me. And I'm not bragging, but imagine that you could even fuck with a nigga like me, biatch.
It's the way he grabs on himself when he's getting closer
You
to
feeling
the
that,
girls be
right?
like, it's the white beater, wish you were the one in the drop top.
Come on, let's ride.
I can't blame him if he wasn't my shit. I would try to claim him.
I'm sure you
cause he's
would.
so fly. I'm so fly.
That's for yourself.
Now what you say, girl?
Damn. Turn up. Turn up. Turn up.
Damn. Yeah.
Okay. Enough of that. Get straight turned up immediately. Matter of fact, let's get straight into it. I wasn't supposed to be here today, but since I am, here we are. I didn't tell anybody I was going live, so we're going to have to just have who we have in the chat tonight. We're going to give a few people some time to get acclimated into the chat. How are y'all feeling? How are y'all doing? What's the deal? What's the word? Everybody feeling healthy? Everybody feeling happy? Did you find something to laugh about today? You got to find something to laugh about. Every day, you make sure you find something to laugh about. At least one time. Every single day, you got to laugh at least once. There's something they never taught us when we were kids. Have you noticed they don't teach us the basic stuff? Like every day, you should find something to laugh at. Even if you laugh at yourself. Sometimes I laugh at myself. I laugh at the fact that I'm without a home. Sometimes I'm like, damn, I want to go home, but I don't have one. And I laugh at that. because you know life is beautiful regardless. I laugh at the fact I can't play basketball. I'm one of the very few black people who cannot play basketball that great. Although I love basketball and I played when I was younger, I was never really that good, admittedly. And now that I don't play anymore, I completely suck. Last time I went to the gym and tried to pick up a basketball and shoot around some hoops, I was airballing everything. Airballing brick. I'm talking hard brick. I was happy if I hit the rim. You hear me? As long as I hit the rim, I could blend in. You know when you're shooting around with everybody at the gym, as long as you at least hitting the rim, you could kind of blend in and act like, it's been a while. But you throwing up air balls and the shit going behind the backboard? No, what's going on here? I don't know. So, without further ado, we'll get straight into it. We're going to let some people join the chat. I do have some extra receipts that I want to go over with you guys because I think it's important that we stay on the neck. It's important that we remember the data, right? Can somebody put that in the chat? Stay on their neck and remember the data. Because the problem is, what is the problem when it comes down to church? Let me read your comment. Okay? Jay, can you hear me? Jay, what is the problem with church? Well, there's a few problems with church. The first problem with church is, oh, you know what? I'm going to have to play that receipt next time. Fuck it. Oops. I'm going to play that receipt next time. There's a few problems with church. They let Upton come to talk whatever shit he wants. They let Joe Biden come talk whatever shit he wants. But the one thing in church, oh shit, here we go. Yeah. Another problem with church is that it's a lot of hooping and hollering, but you never remember the message. Can somebody put that in the chat? It's a lot of hooping and hollering in church, but you just, for some reason, I don't know why, you can just never quite remember the message. Hold on. You can never remember the message in church for some reason. Every time the pastor's up there for 3-4 hours and yes, Lord, amen, amen. And then when you ask the congregation, hey, how was church? Oh, it was good. The pastor gave a word today. Well, what was the word that the pastor gave? I don't remember. I don't recall. I was too caught up in catching the Holy Ghost. That's a problem. It's a problem if you caught the Holy Ghost, but you don't even remember, or you don't know, you didn't get anything from it. You walked away and you don't remember anything. You were just a lot of hooping and hollering, and that's one of our problems. So this is why I'm constantly coming to you with these streams. I'm constantly giving you this data, this evidence, the statistics. I'm giving you receipts. It's necessary to be on top of the receipts. Now, everybody has their own lane, but this is my particular lane. My lane is doing what I'm doing, but also providing the receipts. I'm the one who comes with the receipts. I don't just talk about it. I show it to you. It's like a PowerPoint presentation, because I was talking to somebody recently about, the left brain and the right brain. And one side of the brain, which side is it, guys, that Jay, is it the left side or the right side that deals with more mathematics and organization and stuff like that? Hold on one second. What is the side that comes with, what's up, Jennifer? Jennifer, do you know about the left and the right brain? What is the side of the brain that deals with mathematics, organization, and then there's another side of the brain that deals with more the creative side and art, or whatever the case. So I feel like I'm the brain that deals with more creative stuff. However, The data and all this stuff is important as well, right? So I'm trying my best to merge the two worlds with these shows, these classes. I'm trying to give the people who are visually, you know, like myself, I'm very visually inclined. I got to see videos. I want to see different backgrounds. I want to see different. If you're telling me a receipt, I want to see the receipt. See, it's different if I could tell you about, let's see some of the receipts I have real quick, just to make it, like, it'd be different. Okay, like for instance, just something simple like this. I could be like, hey y'all, did you see the picture of Erykah Badu and her daughter? Right? And then we could have a conversation about that, but not everybody saw the picture of Erykah Badu and her daughter. Some people have to go Google it. Some people forgot. Some people are too lazy and they're just listening. So it's one thing to say, hey, look, Erykah Badu is 52. She took a picture with her daughter showing off her ass, and her daughter's 18. She's 52. It was a bit of that. Or I can show you the picture. And then I can talk about it. You see the difference? Now, it's a little different because I'm showing you, you're able to physically see it, and I'm able to talk about it. We can talk about their facial expression, their body poses. I can ask you if maybe I'm overreacting, so you can judge for yourself. I can show you different angles, right? I can show you the different angles and stuff. So this is the reason why I'm always showing receipts, because I always felt like it was a more powerful way of getting a message through. And I used to want to do these presentations live, like in front of a live audience, maybe a speech or something like that. I still want to do some live speeches if I ever have the opportunity to be in front of a live audience or auditorium or something like that. I would love to give a live speech at a podium or something. But you know, since COVID happened and all this other stuff, everything has really been online, especially with the podcasts and the Zoom calls and stuff. So this is the next adaptation of talking to, let's just say I had 30, 50 people, 100 people in a room. That's very powerful, and you can't really, duplicate that from a screen, but it's very similar to have people from all over the world on this video thing we have here, right? So it's like, maybe if I'm out here in Houston, I could get some people from Houston to come to my live lecture. But then you guys in the chat living in New Orleans, living in Tennessee, living in Seattle, you wouldn't be able to see it. So there's a give and take with everything. So I do appreciate being able to come to you and talk to you like this. But even if I were doing a live presentation, I would want to have a screen next to me or by me where I could put all the receipts up as I'm talking, because for me, I just feel like it's a lot more potent. The message is a lot more potent when you show the receipts along with it, right? So we're gonna let some people get joined in the chat. Go ahead, let me know how you feel in the comments. Tonight, we're talking about, what are we talking about tonight, guys? We're talking about basically me being a YouTuber. Hold on. We're talking about me being a YouTuber, guys. And as I've told you before, I am a YouTuber, okay? I am definitely a YouTuber, and the reason why I say I'm a YouTuber, hold on. Let me try to... Okay, we'll talk about that in a minute. The reason why I'm a YouTuber is because, hey, there needs to be someone who believes in what they're doing. Hold on. What up, Mark Sanchez? Hold on. Can somebody put that in the chat? There needs to be somebody who believes in what they're doing. Because, like, for instance, like this dude right here. He believed in what he was doing, and that's what he did. He didn't care what anybody called him or anything like that. We need people who actually are dedicated to their craft. Even if you're a janitor. Hold on. Even if you're a janitor, we need you to be dedicated to your craft. Why? Because nothing's worse than being served by someone in a profession that doesn't want to be doing that or has no business doing that. Like, some people genuinely love to cook. You understand? Some people genuinely love to cook. Ever since they were young, they love to cook. Me, I've never been that kind of guy. And I don't really love to cook like that. So, me being a cook, I could be a cook. I could learn and I could whatever. But it's never going to hit the same as if I love to cook. See, if I love to cook and I love to be over the hot stove and I love to, decorate the dish and I love to see people's face when they bite into my meal, that would make me a cook. And if I was a cook that was dedicated to cooking, that's what we need more of in life. So, as I told you before, the police don't even want to be police. They don't do it because they really believe that they're going to get crime off of the streets. They're not really trying to find crime wherever it is. They're trying to find the lower people who do the crime. That's what the police are doing so that they can continue the fucking hamster wheel. Because if a true police officer would know that the better he is, the less crime there will be, and eventually you won't even need a police officer if the police were that fucking good. But the police and the judge and the prosecutors and the lawyer and the attorney and the defense attorney and the public witness and the judiciary system and the juror, all of them wouldn't get paid if your nigga ass wasn't out there committing crimes. So they need you niggas to commit crimes. So the police officers are just doing it for a check. I showed you the video of the nurses doing it for the check. The nurses who don't even give a fuck about babies. How are you a nurse in a hospital and don't give a fuck about babies when they're born? And you're disgusted by the mothers who are pregnant and all this other shit. You're a nurse, but you don't give a fuck about health. You don't give a fuck about people's health. You're there for the $50 an hour, however much you're making. So the nurses are not nurses. The police are not police. The military and the army are not military and army, because nobody in the United States that I know is really in the United States Army because they really believe in terrorism and they really want to destroy terrorism and they really believe in the United States Constitution and blah, blah, blah. Everybody who, especially black, who's in the Army is doing it for a check. So you got the Army, our soldiers are doing it for a check. Our police servicemen are doing it for a check. Our doctors and nurses are doing it for a check. Who's actually in a profession that they love and they're willing to do it and sacrifice and do it for free? That's really the question. That should be the question, right? Because remember, they said it's not work if you're willing to do it for free. It's not work, right? You've heard that before. It's not work if you're willing to do it for free, right? So the question should be, let's reverse engineer that. The question should be for the average nurse, the average doctor, the average soldier in the United States Army, would you still do this for free? Let me ask you guys in the chat, what percentage of the people enrolled in the United States Army today, what percentage of them would go to the Army for free? We'll start with the Army. I want to know what you guys think. What percentage of, out of 100% of the people in the Army right now, Navy, all that, let's just say Army, in America, I'm not talking about China or nowhere else, because some of them North Korean motherfuckers, they look like they want to be doing that shit. I don't know. Maybe they're being tortured. I don't know. What percentage of the United States Army wants to be there to defend their land, and they'll do it for free? I want to know the answers. Wait. So Jay, are you saying that 87% of people in the army want to be there and they would do it for free? Is that what we're saying? Or are you saying the opposite? 87% don't want to be there? Because my question is, what percent wants to be there and would do it for free? I'm going to read some comments. What up, Jennifer? Oh, Jay says about 87% of the people in the army are there for a check. So it looks like y'all's numbers are about right, because Bryce Hall says 20% of them want to be there. Jay says about 13% of them want to be there. Jennifer says about 10% of them want to be there. And Bryce brought up a good point. Yeah, there are some people who want to be in the army, and 9 times out of 10, more like 10 times out of 10, it's probably going to be those somebody who's definitely into the systematic enforcement of the ideologies of white supremacy. Remember I played you, does anybody remember that video I played you? And if you don't remember the video, I might have it on my channel. I think I have it on my channel. I can't even recall, but I think I put it on this channel. Go back and look up, yeah, I think that is, I said, red people say the darndest things. I showed a compilation. It was like 6 or 7 Karen type videos. Remember when the Karen video was very big? Everybody was being a Karen and they were getting filmed. Anyway, around that time, I had made this compilation video of some of the most appalling racist acts or things that red people said that were just, not even a racist act. Just some of the stuff that they were saying was just like, wow. And there was one video, this red man was in AT&T store to deal with his cell phone service, and he's talking to a Middle Eastern man or Arab man. Go watch the video if you don't know what I'm talking about. The video is called Red People Say the Darndest Things. If you scroll down further enough on my channel, you'll find it. Anyway, a red man, he goes into an AT&T store. The dude that's the cashier or the dude, the worker at the telephone store, is an Arab man named Muhammad. Can somebody put that in the chat? It's an Arab man named Muhammad, and he's working at the store, and he calls himself Mo for short. Right? Mo for short. His name is Muhammad. He's in America. He calls himself Mo. So he's at the store, and then the red man comes in, and he's mad about his cell phone bill or something. And then the red man's like, I want to talk to your manager. I'm going to get you fired. Whatever. What's your name? What's your name? The dude says, my name is Mo, sir. My name is Mo. He's like, your name is Mo? What type of fucking hell of a name is that? What's your fucking real name? The Arab man, he's like, Mohammed. My name is Mohammed, but they call me Mo. He's like, oh, I should have fucking knew it, Mohammed. He said, don't you know I've been in the army killing your kind for 30 years? Listen to me. He literally told this man, I've been in the army over a dispute or disagreement or grievance over his AT&T cell phone. He tells this Arab man, I've been killing your kind in the army for 30 years all over the continents. He said, I served in this thing, I served here, and I killed 100 of your kind here, and we've been killing your kind in the last 6 years, and I did a tour over here. I was like, and this woman was filming him, a white woman was filming him. And then he gets mad at her, and she's like, hey, look, I don't give a fuck. You're crazy as hell, right? So, yeah, there's going to be some percentage of people in the army who want to be there, probably because they want to do like this dude and kill more Arab people. Who knows? But all I can say is a very small percentage. Okay, so now let's do this. So it says here about, we'll say, just to be nice, we'll say 20% of people in the army want to be there, even though Jay says it's more like 13, Jennifer says it's more like 10, okay? Now, let's ask, what about the police? what percentage of the police would do it for free? What percentage of the police that are working today say, you know what, I love this job. I love being in a position to get crime off the streets. I want to make it safer for the little kids to play in the ghetto. Let's do this. I'll work a shift for free. How many police officers, what percentage of police officers would even work one shift a week for free? One shift every week for free. What you think, Bryce? Andrea, what up? Andrea says about 25%. So you guys are giving a little higher answers than the Army. So the Army, you think it's a small amount of people who would be there if it wasn't for the check. Here it says about 35, 40%, about 25%. About 50% would be... Jennifer believes that about 50% of the police officers on the force would do it for free. That's a very, very generous estimation, Jennifer. Of course, there's no data to back any of this up, and so there's no right or wrong answer. But I think it's a very generous assumption to believe that 50% of the police officers in America are going to be there with no check. But, well, Jay says only 3%. He believes only 3% out of 100 people that are police officers, only 3 of them would go for free. Retired cops still police areas after they retire. The Fraternal Order of Police is like a retired police gang. But again, are these retired cops doing this? Is there no perk for them? I mean, hey, I didn't even know this. So if there's a bunch of retired cops who are really genuinely doing this for free and really genuinely doing this because they believe they could get crime off and they're not enforcing the systematic enforcement of the allegations of white supremacy, hey, then I just learned something new today. Okay, so far we have the Army has a low percentage of people you feel like would do it for free. The police, you guys feel like they're a little bit more. There's a little bit more of police officers who would do it for free. Fair enough. I have met some good police officers, so don't mistake me. I met some police officers who let me go. I met some police officers who just want to get home to their family, like they say, right? Now, here's the last question. What percentage of nurses, I think this will be the highest number though, to be honest, but still, it's still an alarming number, but what percentage of nurses will do it for free? What percentage of nurses in America will do it for free, genuinely love people, genuinely love medicine and helping and health and seeing people be better, genuinely love, being around people who are in need or who are having a baby, and they genuinely love watching people walk out of the hospital to never come back? What percentage? I need to know. Drea says 2%. They complain a lot when they actually are paid. Damn. That's a good point. Andrea says the nurses, they complain a lot even when they are being paid $40 an hour plus overtime. So imagine if they were not being paid. That's a scary thought. Now ask yourself this, guys. Is that not a scary thought? The people who are protecting you, the people who can throw you into a prison, the people who are supposed to be healing you, none of them are doing it for a check, or what? 10%, 3%? Are doing it for a check. 10% are doing it. Come on. Okay, so that's my point, guys. Now, here's the question. Now here's a better question. Here's the final question. what percentage of people on YouTube, all of the people on YouTube, whether they're 10 million subscribers and they have a bunch of endorsements, or whether they're one subscriber, they just uploaded one little funky video from their cell phone. What percentage of all the people on YouTube, streaming on YouTube to be YouTubers, would do it for no money? I think this is the best question. Jennifer says 20% of nurses would do it for free. Jay says no less than 15%. I do believe about 25 to 30% of nurses would do it for free, personally. I know some nurses who genuinely love their job and they're genuinely great people and they're genuinely cheerful people and stuff like that. So I don't want to paint a picture like everybody in the hospital, everybody in the police office, everybody in the army is a certain way. I'm just trying to get you to realize that the people who are in charge of basically running our entire society, more than 50% of them don't even want to do that shit, don't even have any interest in that shit, have no passion for that shit. They would not do it for free. So, Bryce, I'm asking the question again. Jay, I want everybody to be clear on my question. What percentage of all the people on YouTube would do it for free or are doing it for free? However you want to look at it. Because I think that's the ultimate question. That's what I'm talking about today is being a YouTuber. Now, I'm a YouTuber, right? It took me a minute to finally admit that. It took me a minute to finally say that and to finally accept that. But I don't think there's anything wrong with being a YouTuber, especially, like I said, when the people who call themselves police aren't actually police. The people who call themselves nurses aren't actually nurses. The people who call themselves soldiers aren't actually soldiers. So I believe in 2023, the year of clarity, I believe that, hey, if you're even anything, at least you're really that, you're truly that, this is what we need to applaud. We need to applaud people who really love being mechanics. You know, there's people who love being mechanics. Has anybody ever tried to go and YouTube, like just say how an engine works or a car engine, how a car works? I tried to recently go look up, you know, because I'm trying to get a new bike, right? So I'm looking up how the bike engine works and, you know, there's different engines. Like for instance, if you go watch some motorcycle channels, some of these motorcycle channels are so, it just blows my mind how much information there is. It's almost like a whole different language when you're talking about motorcycles. They're like, oh yeah, the exhaust pipe and the blah blah blah, the radiator shift, it geared to the second, and then you're gonna want to get on a GXXX4. What's your motorcycle? Oh, I'm dealing with a GXXX4. I put a dual exhaust pipe, a engine blower, and the steam jetpack, and I'm like, oh shit. I don't know what the fuck this is. I just want to put the key in and go. I gotta go somewhere. I don't know. I'm not, you know what I'm saying? I'm not Vin Diesel. The fuck I look like? Vin Diesel in Fast and the Furious? You remember Vin Diesel? He popped the trunk and he was like, yeah, I've got a NOS injection fuel system and dual carburetor. I'm like, listen, bro, I don't know what the fuck that is, but there's some people who genuinely love that. So I was on YouTube trying to look up engines and stuff, and I got really discouraged because I couldn't get past the carburetor. So far, at least I know the carburetor mixes air with gas, and then that's what it kind of opens up when you pull the lever, and then it's something, and the carburetor goes into the radiator, right? And then after that, I have no fucking idea. I don't even know who made this shit. How did you make this shit? The first engine, how did they do that shit? Go look up an engine on YouTube. Like, this shit is just crazy for me. So, but there's people on YouTube or there's people in real life that would see that and say, oh yeah, that's just the radiator shift. All you got to do is da-da-da-da-da. Now, what I look like spending 20,000 hours trying to learn some shit that I'm not even passionate about when there's somebody who's already passionate about it and there's somebody who already has put that 10,000 hours in. So with me, when I say I'm a YouTuber, this is exactly what I mean. I'm a YouTuber, meaning I am giving you the news that the news doesn't show. This is why I've been constantly always on my phone. I'm constantly getting receipts, even when I'm have a day off and I'm supposed to be relaxing. I'm constantly looking for new news, new things we could put this puzzle together. Right? Hold on. I'm trying to constantly find pieces of this puzzle to put this thing together, right? So with that being said, yes, I am a YouTuber. That means I use YouTube as a platform to do this thing. Now, what's the problem with that? The problem with that is YouTube in general is pretty new. The internet in general is pretty new. So the mainstream and older people and some younger people don't like to give anything on the internet credit, right? There's this whole, what up, Buckshot? Buckshot, you know this. There's this whole discrediting that goes on with anything that comes from the internet. Oh, where'd you hear that? Social media, right? That whole, oh, it's on social media. The whole way that they're demonizing social media as if social media is ran by a bunch of robots or something. Yes, we have the algorithm and stuff, but social media at its core is nothing more than what the internet was intended to do. Remember, we had that class called the internet where we broke it down what the internet is. Does anybody remember what the internet's the full name for the internet? The internet, that's a shortened name. It's two different words. The internet. It's not just one word. What does the internet stand for, guys? The interconnected network, exactly. This is what the internet is, the interconnected network. So, or interconnected networks, right? So Buckshot is on his own network, right? Right now, he's on his own internet, his own Ethernet, whatever, his own special encrypted URL or whatever it's called, his IP address. I have my IP address. We all have our own little internet connection. And then we come here, or we come to YouTube, we come to Instagram, and we meet up somewhere. We exchange comments, we exchange likes and shares. And that's called the interconnected networks. Because your network is now connected to my network, and it's now interconnected together. The interconnected network. That's what the internet is, right? So why do people demonize social media when actually in 2023 the internet is running everything? You can't even shit. They're turning. I was just trying to do laundry. I'm over here at this place. I'm trying to do laundry, and they took away the old laundry. You remember now. This is how I'm clearly getting old now, obviously. Because I remember when you could go into a laundromat and put in quarters and wash your fucking underwear. But now they took out the laundry, they're taking out the washers and dryers that take quarters, and now either you have to have a credit card or you have to have one of their cards, or where I'm at right now, you have to download an app. Listen to me closely. This shit pissed me the fuck off. I was trying to wash my clothes. I don't even have much time. I'm a runaway slave. And I was trying to wash my clothes where I'm at because I have work and the stuff in the morning. They took away the washer and dryer, right? And then they put a washer and dryer that requires you to download an app. Listen, because this is I don't even know. I need somebody to explain to me, why would you take away a perfectly working washer and dryer that took quarters, and now the washer and dryer, you have to download an app on your phone and give them your fucking location.
That's stupid, guys. Is this camera on me?
Yes, it's on.
That's stupid. Use your common sense, but just use your common sense.
Robert,
Stop it. Y'all quit playing. Quit playing. Y'all killing me with this.
I was literally like pissed the fuck off. And then I said, okay. I said, what about the people who don't have a phone, who don't have internet connection? I have to download an app on the internet, on my smartphone, on the Google Play Store, just to wash my fucking drawers. Do you not see? In a minute, shit, niggas gonna start looking like the VCR out here. You remember the VCR, right? The VCR with a cassette tape. You can't find one of those no more. You can't find a Blockbuster no more. So yes, the internet is taking over whether you like it or not. So why not be a part of it? I decided that a long time ago. That's why I've been on YouTube for the better part of almost 7 years now. My first channel, of course, was deleted, but that's a different story. I've had this channel for almost 2 years. It might be 2 years actually now. And thank you, YouTube, for allowing me to stay on the platform. I don't know how much longer, but hey, me and YouTube have a love-hate relationship. Because I'm not gonna lie, when my first channel was deleted, I was devastated. I mean, I had 2 strikes already, and so I pretty much knew one of these days it was coming. But when you finally get your channel deleted, and I had over 500 videos on that one channel alone. 500 videos. 500 different videos. You understand that? Not 500 minutes, 500 videos. Some of the videos were 30 minutes. Some of the videos were hours. Some of the videos were 20 minutes. 500 videos over the course of 5 years. That's 100 videos a year. They deleted all that shit. They didn't even say, all right, look, channel's deleted, or nobody else can see it, but only you can see it. And download your videos or whatever. You can still have it. They just deleted my entire account. Luckily, I had made a backup channel, which is this channel, and I also named it J-LEETHAL, spelled the same way. And here's another funny thing. I'm so shadow banned that you can't even find me on YouTube. I've done it multiple times. I went to multiple different phones and different places and tried to type in J-LEETHAL, exactly how it's spelled, J-L-E-E-T-H-A-L. So if you're trying to tell anybody about me, give them the paper with my name on it exactly how it's spelled. Because if you put J-LEETHAL any other way, J-A-Y lethal, or J-LEETHAL with one E like it's supposed to be spelled, or J-LEETHAL with no dash, if you do anything other than J-LEETHAL how it's supposed to be spelled, you will not even get any of my fucking videos. They're going to give you some bozo ass niggas. Some bozo ass niggas that don't even put any thought into the fucking video. No, ugly ass thumbnails. You got 40 videos popping up of some nigga that's just not. I typed in J-LEETHAL into the search bar. Why are you giving me Barbara Streisand? This is how bad the YouTube algorithm has got. It used to be that you could type in a video and anything with that title or similar to that title on YouTube, no matter what, it'll pop up. You could type in Nipsey Hussle was killed by the government. I made a video like that. Go look that video up. Nipsey Hussle was assassinated by the United States government. That's what I made the video. The first time I put it on my channel was when he had just got killed. That had got to damn near 5,000 views in a week, and then it stopped. You hear me? Imagine a video get 5,000 views in a week and then stops. And when I say stop, I don't mean slow down. The shit stopped. How is that possible? You tell me. It's because I'm so shadow banned, but I realize it's better like this. It's better like this. We can get the message out more effectively when we have a small little runaway slave group. You understand that? If we had a big old group, there's going to be agents all in the motherfucker. The chat's going to be going too fast. Have you ever tried to leave a comment in Tariq Nasheed's live? I fuck with Tariq Nasheed. But like when Tariq Nasheed goes live, you can't read the comments, and nobody can read your comments. You can't have no conversation with nobody in a Tariq Nasheed live stream, because the comments are just going like that. He got 2,000 people in there, and everybody's commenting emojis and da 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 da. It's just going like that. You don't even know who's in there. Sometimes I see some of my people in different comment sections and stuff like that. But I've always thought about it. I said, damn, if I had, or like Kendra G, if you go to Kendra G's YouTube channel, when she goes live, same thing, 3,000 people in there, just blah, 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 blah. So imagine if I was all of a sudden tomorrow I got 100,000 subscribers, and then I did an online pro bono interactive learning course with like-minded individuals gathering in order to discuss nuances, sometimes controversial topics, so that we all possibly gain a motherfucker further love, current understanding, moving forward. And imagine Chucky is in there, but I have 1.2 thousand live stream followers now. People who are live watching, 1.2 thousand. And they're all commenting, they're all laughing, da da da. We would never see Chucky, what Chucky has to say. So that's why I appreciate how we're able to do this. And I also appreciate the fact that you guys keep coming back, because that means we're learning together. Now, let me show you guys some videos, because I've been talking a little bit too much. I feel like, I don't know why, but you know, every time I just gotta set the mood right for what we're gonna have the discussion tonight about it. But tonight we're having a discussion that I'm a fucking YouTuber, and that's important, and that's okay. We need you to figure out what you are passionate about in life and really be that in this life, and start on it, because you're not going to be perfect. You're never going to be perfect, but it's never going to be, let me clarify that. It's never going to be the right conditions in your mind to start being who you're meant to be. It's never going to be the right conditions. You have to just do that shit, just like you got to just grab your fucking balls or grab your titties and just be that. Even when people are telling you, no, that's dumb. You know how many people told me? I had a very close friend of mine. I'm not going to say his name, but I had a very close friend of mine, actually two close friends of mine, that just completely shat on my YouTube career. They just shat on my entire dreams. And I love them both, you know? But I did have to realize, like, shit, even your best friends sometimes won't even understand your vision, or whatever the case. I had two very, very close friends of mine, basically brothers. And when I revealed to them what I wanted to do with YouTube and how I felt God led me to that and why I wanted to stand on the principle in this time, they both said at different times, they don't even know each other. They both tell me, that's it? What? Who do you think you are? And I'll never forget when one of my close friends told me that, and I love him. But I said, this is what I want to do, and this is how I feel. Who do you think you are? So I said, wow, I don't know. Maybe I'm not who I think I am. Or maybe I am who I think I am, but I just need to stop looking for clarification from motherfuckers. I think that's what it more is. I be looking for clarification and approval from motherfuckers because what? Maybe I was raised by my mama. We was raised by our mama since 1970, and we always gotta. I don't know. I I don't know, but I know one day, I don't even know what day it was. One day I said I'm gonna grab my balls. It was actually a long process of grabbing my balls because people used to I used to like be very timid in like middle school, like 6th grade, 7th grade. I was going through an awkward phase and I had my braces and I was just kind of whatever. I would let people play me. I wasn't no punk and I never got bullied. But you know how the loud, obnoxious kids who probably didn't eat no breakfast that morning, they come to school and bully people to get off their aggression because they don't understand the psychology. So I was just quiet and passive. I had braces. Nobody bullied me, but I never really stood up for myself until my mom told me, you know, son, you're going into 9th grade and you can be whoever you want to be now because you're going to a new school. This is a new phase. You don't have to be the same person in 9th grade in high school that you were in 8th grade in junior high. And something clicked for me right there too. She said you can be who you want to be. And so I kind of decided right there. I went into 9th grade with a whole new attitude, like kind of poking my chest out, like I know who I am, right? So it's been a long process of me being who I am today, and I'm still not done. But I know one thing: nobody can come and tell me to eat a fucking pork. How many of y'all get shamed? Maybe not today, or none of y'all, but some people will get shamed. Like if, like, say you're living in Texas and everybody's eating bacon and barbecue and stuff, and you're like, I don't eat pork, and everybody's like, what? You're missing out, and and they're making fun of your diet. Some people would tend to cave in or feel like, me, I'm the type of person that would make you feel stupid for eating that pig. That's how confident I am in what I'm saying, because I'm not only the only one in the room that believes this, I'm willing to be the only one in the room that believes this, and I'm gonna speak on it too. So that's why I put myself in this position on YouTube. It doesn't mean I'm greater than anybody else, but I know how to articulate in that instance. So, hey, sorry. You know what? Forget all that.
Kill that noise, man. Let's just get the shit.
The shit. The shit. You'll get the shit. You'll be knee deep in the shit.
This is the prison doctor. Fathers, if you are not in your child's life, then you are making a big mistake. Most of the house calls that I go on are to single women who are trying to raise young boys by themselves. When you are not active in your child's life, you make it that much more difficult for her to do her job in raising that young man. It is actually shameful that you can be man enough to have sex with that woman and produce a child, but you are not man enough to take care of your responsibility in properly raising that child. Children don't need part-time fathers. They need full-time fathers, full-time dads. It's your responsibility. Step up to the plate. Man up. Parent up. Be there for your child.
Oh my God! Wow! Oh my God!
My done talking the whole time with no fucking oh my god. I was talking with no fucking mic. Okay, let me say it again real quick. The dude, the prison doctor. Put a 7 in the chat if you remember the video of the dude that I just played, the prison doctor, the bald head man. Go look him up on Instagram. What he does is he finds, he doesn't find them. They find him. Single mothers are calling man. He said 80% of the people who call him are single mothers. Remember? Put a 7 in the chat if you remember this guy. 80% are single mothers, and they're calling him because the kids are out of control. The 12-year-old, the 14-year-old is out of control, and it's a single mother. She calls this bald black man who got out of prison for a 20-year bid, and now he turned his life around, and he's talking to the kids and getting them like scared straight type thing. I fuck with him. I like the approach. But see, most of his videos are in the house talking to the kids. So this is one of the few messages he directly gave to the people. So one of the few and first messages you give, sir, is what? What is the game? He says, fathers, you need to be in the kid's life and stop running away, because it's a disgrace that you can lay with this woman, but you're not in the kid's life. This is what I focus on, and this is why I constantly am going to this topic. If you notice, I talk about everything, but I gravitate towards certain things a lot. I show you the systematic enforcement of the ideologies of white supremacy. I show you how the so-called gay agenda is going to trickle down to our kids. I show you about this feminism and how it's destroying and how it's literally molding and socially engineering our women to believe that they can do this shit by themselves. Not only that they can do this shit by themselves, but they're simultaneously being taught to despise and have a disdain for men. You understand the difference? It's one thing to say, fuck it, I'm independent, I can do it myself. It's another thing to have that on top of, and fuck this nigga because he's a nigga. Or because he's a man. So this is why I have those, I would say those are my 3 main topics that I tackle. Of course, it's all under the umbrella of God and the umbrella of correction, right? But as I asked somebody last time in the stream, and I really want somebody to answer me in the chat, if somebody's about to literally walk off of a cliff, they're so close to the cliff that in the next 3 steps, they're gonna fall off the cliff. Am I supposed to walk up to that person who's about to walk off the cliff? Am I supposed to tell them, A, the word of God and the gospel of Jesus Christ that he hung on the cross, or B, hey, that you're about to walk off that cliff? Tell me guys. I need to know this because I'm a YouTuber. And some people wonder why I don't bring out scriptures every day and I'm not, I wanted to, and why I don't just every day just talk about Jesus Christ died on the cross for us. But again, if somebody is 3 feet from walking off of a cliff, which message am I supposed to give them? The realistic message right here on this earth that you're about to walk off a cliff and you need to be careful of that cliff? Or should I tell them, hey, Jesus Christ died on the cross for you and you need to accept him into your heart in order to enter heaven? Which one should I tell them? They could be one and the same. They could be. Fact, hey, I can tell him, hey, accept Jesus into your heart right now because, hey, you're about to fall off of that motherfucking cliff and you're going to meet Jesus, so you might want to be good in his book. But I would think God would want us to tell our brother and sister, you're about to fall off that cliff. That's a cliff. There's 500 feet down into a rocky abyss. You're going to die. And then you can share the word of God with him. You understand that? I despise this idea that all we have to do is talk about one particular part of the Bible and we're not supposed to relate it to today. I despise that idea. Bryce, I'm trying my best to read the chat, but I get too caught up in what I'm saying. I do read the chat. You guys don't play me now. You guys know I come back to the chat every 10 to 12 minutes. That's why And you guys know I do some of these crazy rants. But so let's get back to the prison doctor. The prison doctor, he said, what did he say? Hold on.
This is the prison doctor. Fathers, if you are not in your child's life, then you are making a big mistake. Most of the house calls that I go on are to single women who are trying to raise young boys by themselves. When you are not active in your child's life, you make it that much more difficult for her to do her job in raising that young man. It is actually shameful that you can be man enough to have sex with that woman and produce a child, but you are not man enough to take care of your responsibility in properly raising that child. Children don't need partners.
This is absolutely ridiculous and disgusting. I can't believe we have mothers teaching their kids this type of crap. Here we go. Trigger warning.
If your daddy ain't shit, clap your hands. If your daddy ain't shit, clap your hands. Yeah.
Yeah. You can't make this shit up, people. You cannot make this shit up.
You know, one day I feel like I'm gonna have to look in the mirror and like take accountability for my actions and realize that I am the toxic one. Maybe I am the problem. But not today, bitch, because it's never me. It is always the man, ladies. Remember that. We are never wrong.
This is absolutely ridiculous and disgusting. I can't believe we have mothers teaching their kids this type of crap. Here we go. Trigger warning.
If your daddy ain't shit, clap your hands. If your daddy ain't shit, clap your hands. Yeah.
First of all, this is not even cute. This is not a flex. This is nothing to even be smiling about. This little boy is going to endure a lot of trauma growing up because of this woman right here that he unfortunately has to call his mother. This is absolutely ridiculous. Stop it.
What'd you say?
Do I have a dad?
Why do you ask that?
I don't know, but do I have one?
Of course you do.
What's his name again?
His name is Tyrell.
Tyrell?
Mm-hmm. What'd you say?
Do I have a dad?
Why do you ask that? What'd you say?
Do I have a dad?
Why do you ask that?
I don't know, but do I have one?
Of course you do.
What's his name again?
His name is Tyrell.
Tyrell?
Mm-hmm.
Mom, does he know I'm really smart, or does he not?
I don't think he knows.
Why? Ever since I tell him I'm really good.
What do you mean?
Tyrell.
What about?
Like, if I tell him I'm really good, he will trust us, I think.
Jakai, it's not about that. Sometimes adults, even though they're big people, like even though they're adults, they don't do the right thing all the time. And so some dads don't do the right thing and some moms don't do the right thing, but you're a fucking amazing.
Oh, like
and as long as I'm doing the right thing, I'm gonna come to all your games and I'm gonna go to all your school stuff.
Fuck you, bitch. Shut the fuck up, bitch. Back the fuck up. If I knock the fuck out you.
Damn, man.
Pussy, hey, tell your kid what the fuck.
Somebody put that in the chat. Do I have a dad? What other community? Let's reverse that. What kid asks their parent, "Do I have a mom?" And the mom is alive now. Imagine the mom is a crack fiend. She's gonna steal your DVD player. She's gonna wipe her shit on the walls like January 6th. She's chewing tobacco. She steals from Walmart, even though I steal from Walmart. I mean, everything in the book, the mother does, right? Is there ever going to be any kid that doesn't know she exists? What kid is like, hey, dad, Do I have a mom? Who? Who? Shadow Man, are there any kids that would look at their dad and say, do I have a mom? Why is this little kid, he's playing baseball. She's got him being coached by other men. Listen to this. She's got this little kid being coached by other men, but he doesn't even know if he has a
Fuck
dad.
you, bitch. Shut the fuck up, bitch. Back the fuck up. If I knock the fuck out you.
Damn, man.
Pussy, hey, tell your kid what the fuck.
What you say?
Do I have a dad?
Why you ask that?
I don't know, but do I have one?
Of course you do.
What's his name again?
His name is Tyrell.
Tyrell?
Mm-hmm.
Mom, does he know I'm really smart, or does he not?
I don't think he knows.
Why? Ever since I tell him I'm really good.
What do you mean?
Tyrell.
What about?
Like, if I tell him I'm really good, he will trust us, I think.
You hear him? He said, Mommy, do I have a dad? She said, yes. He said, what is my dad's name? She said, Tyrell. He said, well, does my daddy know that I'm smart and that I'm good at baseball? She said, I don't think so.
We shall overcome someday. Oh, deep in my heart, I do believe we shall overcome someday.
Somebody put that in the chat. She told the little boy, I don't think your dad knows you're smart. I don't think he knows you're good. Well, first of all, why doesn't the boy even know his dad's name? No, you don't. Nobody thinks that's weird. The little boy, one day, he finally grabbed his balls. Remember I told you, black men, we go through a process of grabbing our balls. I don't remember when I just finally said fuck it. But this little boy's, he grabbed his balls enough to ask his mom the question that's been on his mind. You think he doesn't watch shows and see families with fathers? You think he doesn't go to school with the other little nations of boys who have fathers? So he's asking you, well, where's my dad? Or are you the fucking Virgin Mary? Somebody put that in the chat. Either he has a dad, ma'am, or you're the fucking Virgin Mary.
This is disgusting.
I highly doubt you're sitting in Bethlehem. I doubt you're from Bethlehem. But remember, the conversation tonight is a good one because it's about what it's always about. Hey, I'm a one-trick pony, or at least a few-trick pony. Here's another one that I want to ask you guys. I showed you before, but I want to get your gears going tonight, if I may. Put a 7 in the chat if I can get your brains going. And by the way, I'm not trying to change the world with these conversations. I realize we only be having 14, 15, maybe 20 people in the chat. I'd be silly to think that these conversations are going to be big enough to make it to the grand stage of Congress. But what we can do is one person at a time change in our mind what we believe to be the truth. Because based on the evidence, we're going to start seeing that the conversation is not that of a runaway dad. The conversation is not of a runaway dad. So what do I want to do? I want single mothers to have less sympathy. That's what I want. What do you want from this, J-Lethal? What are you going on about? I want single mothers to get less sympathy. Now, if she's a single mother because the nigga died or some other crazy, I'm talking crazy circumstance, then she's a widow for all purposes. But if she chose, and I use that word very particularly, if she chose to be a single mother, well, then that's your problem. Now let's read this, because this is another overwhelming statistic. Can somebody put that in the chat? I remember they call me the receipt king, so here's some statistics for your ass out of nowhere. Random statistics. Look at this. Children killed by single parent. Where my nigga Solo at, man? I need Solo in this building, because I'm not even gonna bring out these crazy ass receipts. He deserves to see this shit. We're gonna get back to this stat in a minute. Out of all the children killed in this 5-year period by their parent, 70% of the children were killed by their mother, or somebody else with the mother. Only 30% of the children were killed by the father, or somebody with the father. Now we're gonna get back to this stat, because this is a very, very important stat right here. But also important stat, 90% of all homeless and runaway children are from fatherless homes. 90%. I don't think you understand how staggering that is. Why is this not being like broadcast everywhere? Oh, I know why. I don't talk about this stuff. We're gonna just bring it all out tonight, guys. Let's bring about it. Let's bring it out. This is the reason why. And I was gonna take my time tonight, but I said, fuck it. You know what? I'm just gonna go on in for the people who deserve to hear this. I need my nigga Solo come through, but dog, I gotta bring it out regardless. This is the society that they're breeding right here. Rihanna says she wants 3 or 4 kids, and hell yeah to the idea of becoming a single mom. Rihanna, who just did the Super Bowl now, so this is not just some hanky-panky person. This is a very popular person in America. You got to understand what it means to be an influencer in these new times. Can somebody put that in the chat? That might be the name of one of my shows, Influencer. Because these are people are literally, there's literally come out actual news, and they've already admitted it. The actual people themselves, who are so-called influencers with millions of subscribers, they've admitted that Joe Biden and all these people are calling them to promote the injection and all this other stuff. So we know what these influencers are being used to do. They're being used to push agendas so that people can mentally agree with this. See, once you start mentally agreeing with the debauchery, what happens next? You start doing it. Think about it. Once you mentally agree with this shit, now you're going to start following it. So whereas before it was shunned, at least for the bare fact of it, now when you got Rihanna coming out saying hell yeah to the idea of becoming a single mom, she doesn't subscribe to society's idea of diminishing you as a mother if there's not a dad in your kid's life. She tells British Vogue. And mind you, nobody in the mainstream is diminishing single mothers. If anything, we're giving them enough sympathy and empathy, and we're giving them enough gifts and enough praise. Who is diminishing single mothers on a wide scale? But this is, again, what they're trying to do. Talk to me in the chat. Can y'all hear me? This is, again, what they're trying to do. This is, speaking of Rihanna, remember, so Rihanna came out recently and she's like, yeah, just in case I become a mother, it's not a big deal. And I think other single mothers should follow suit. Now, mind you, she's still with this dude that she's with right now. Now, I showed you footage of this nigga wearing a dress and all type of weird shit. So standing, doing the satanic stuff. So this is not surprising to me, but again, I got to give you the news that the news doesn't show. Look at the imagery that they put out. And somebody's going to be like, oh, you always have a problem. No, you just don't ever realize the problem. Look, she's leading this relationship, y'all. She's the head of this household. Remember, you can be free, and remember, she's basically barely holding on to this nigga's hand. At any moment, she could just move forward without this nigga because, again, her perspective is hell yeah to being the single mother. Now, why is this all this conversation? It's one big conversation is why I keep bringing it to you. It's all one big conversation, and it all goes back to the prison doctor. Can somebody put that in the chat? Even though it's not his fault, it all goes back to this conversation right here.
This is the prison doctor. Fathers, if you are not in your child's life, then you are making a big mistake. Most of the house calls that I go on are to single women who are trying to raise young boys by themselves. When you are not active in your child's life, you make it that much more difficult for her to do her job in raising that young man. It is actually shameful that you can be man enough to have sex with that woman and produce a child, but you are not man enough to take care of your responsibility in properly raising that child.
Who said men are not responsible enough to take care of that child? Who said that? Where is this narrative coming from that we do not take care of our children, guys? Because remember I showed you this video right here, right?
This is my morning routine as a single mom living in a van, waking up in a Walmart parking lot. So of course, as soon as we wake up, I make sure to give my toddler lots and lots of cuddles and kisses. Then I like to throw on some clothes because it's a little chilly and I want to make sure we are as warm as possible. After putting myself together, I go on to put Kareem's jacket on and he pulls off the window covers. This is our beautiful view of Walmart. We don't usually park in parking lots, but sometimes that's the case. I then go in to make up the bed so I don't have to do it later on. We then get out of the van and walk into Walmart to use the restroom and brush our teeth. I do have a toilet in my van, but we are already sleeping in a Walmart parking lot, so we might as well utilize all of their services. Since I didn't need anything in Walmart, we were able to just run back to the van. And immediately I get started with cooking some breakfast. So then I set up my kitchen, which is the basic 2-burner propane stove. While I'm doing this, my toddler is usually watching his morning show on his iPad. Today we are making something very simple: sausage, pancakes, and hash browns per Kareem's request. But this is only a pit stop till we get to our next destination, so if you really like these morning routines and you want to see what we get up to next, follow along.
Talk to me in the chat, y'all. So here's the question. What about a man sleeping in the car with his child? What are the, let's just name some of the words that a man would be called on the internet or in real life or by the police if he was sleeping in a van with his child. Go ahead and put it in the chat. If all he had was a van to his name and whatever little day-to-day money he could scrap around, and they had to sleep in a Walmart parking lot and brush their teeth in the Walmart bath, what would the man in the exact same situation, let's name some of the words. I'm very curious. I'm gonna read your comments. What time is it? Today is February 16th. I'm sorry for my people on Patreon. I need to post more, and I need to be more prompt. You guys deserve me being more prompt. I don't know why. I don't know why I'm so all over the place. But thank you for joining me on patreon.com/JLEETHAL7. Can y'all hear me? I know my internet's kind of choppy too. Mami Rica. What up, Mami Rica? Can you hear me? Can you see me? Is my internet super choppy? I know my shit's kind of fucked up right now. Mami Rica, you're in for a treat tonight. I'm exposing the single mother epidemic Did you see this, Mami Rica? What do you think about this? What do you think about Rihanna saying hell yeah to the idea of becoming a single mom? She doesn't want to diminish any women who want to become a single mother. If you want to become a single mother, hey, that's fine. Remember this video here? I'm going to just start playing a whole bunch of videos. They're all linking up. Somebody put that in the chat. Put a 7 in the chat if I can just play you a whole bunch of videos that's just all gonna make sense together. I don't even have to fucking talk. I have so many receipts now. Oh my God, they better assassinate me like Kevin Samuels. Talk to me in the chat. I have more receipts than Kevin Samuels, I think. I'm not, I might have damn near more receipts than this man himself. You better come assassinate me, because it's not gonna, I'm not going for that. And it's up. Can somebody put that in the chat? It's definitely up. I have so many receipts, I don't even have to talk. See, that's the difference. Kevin Samuels basically had to explain it. Now, I explained it too. But now I've gathered the data. Let's talk about some more data. Put that in the chat. Let's talk about some more data. How about this data right here? 85. We talked about 90% of all homeless children are from fatherless homes. 90% of all runaway children are from fatherless homes. 85% of all youth sitting in prison today grew up in a fatherless home. 63% of suicides in the youth are from fatherless homes. Now let's get down to the brass tacks. 50% of all marriages in the United States will end in divorce or separation. Mami Rica, you right. Mami Rica, we're gonna speak life into existence over here. We're gonna speak life. We're gonna speak life. But Mami Rica, did you know that 50% of marriages in America will end in divorce? But this is where it gets tricky, because the average length of these marriages are only 8 years. So the average marriage in America only lasts 8 years, and 50% of all marriages are going to end in divorce. But this is where it gets funny, guys. This is where people hate me because the data speaks for itself. This is why I keep on giving it to you until you understand it. Because if somebody tries to bring this to you, you can shut the shit down. Numerous studies have shown 70% of divorces are initiated by women. So let's back that up. We talked about the fatherless homes. 90% of homeless children are from fatherless homes. 90% of runaway, fatherless homes. We talked about the 85% of people in prison, fatherless homes. We talked about the 63% of youth suicides, fatherless homes. Then we found out that the divorces are being filed by the women. Okay, now this is another one that I wanted to bring out. That I have so many, but this is one that I just recently got today or last night. I found this receipt last night and I wanted to bring it to you guys. Where is it? Where is it? Where is it? Somebody put this in the chat. Look at this receipt right here. This one blows it out the river, because I was thinking about it. I said, okay, well, if 50% of marriages end in divorce, and all of these women are filing for divorce, right? Because it said 70% of women file for divorce, and if she has a degree, it's about 90%. Okay. So I said, well, how come all the other nations of people, they still have a dad in the house, right? I mean, sure, there's an overall attack on masculinity, but if we have all these broken up homes, like for some reason, I didn't understand why black people are the main ones that don't have a dad in the house. Because if that's the case, if women in general are divorcing and women in general are getting custody and women in general are doing this, then everybody wouldn't have a dad, right? Now, this is the one that I want to show you. This is going to blow your mind, guys. Let's read this together as a class. It says here, all racial ethnic groups had more marriages than divorces. Other race women, including Asian American, Indian, Alaska Native, and multiracial women, had the highest marriage to divorce ratio, 3. Meaning 3 women married in 2018 for every 1 woman who had divorced. Okay, so the second highest ratio was found among Hispanic women, followed by white, followed by black women. Now, this is the part you got to pay attention to, because this is a specific, but this is from 2020, if I'm not mistaken, or maybe 2018. But regardless, the stats are still the same. This is something that you really need to pay attention to. It says here, black women were the only group of women. Now remember, this is important because the women in general are the ones who file for divorce. Asian, Latino, I don't give a damn if she's blue like in the movie Avatar. If she's a woman, she's filing for divorce 70 to 90% of the time. But when we talk about black women's divorces, let's read this. Hold on. Black women were the only group that had a higher divorce rate than marriage rate. Listen to that again. Can somebody put that in the chat? Black women were the only, not one of them, not black and Asian or black and Latino, no. Not minorities, not people of color. Do you see how when it's bad statistics, it's only us? But when it comes time to do something beneficial, they give it to everybody. This is why we need to make the distinction, because people of color didn't have the highest divorce rate among everybody. Minorities didn't have a higher divorce rate than marriage rate. The coloreds, no. Black women were the only group that had a higher divorce rate than a marriage rate, with nearly 31 divorces per 1,000 married women aged 15 and older, and only 17.3 marriages. So what is this saying, guys? Can somebody tell me what this is saying? Because I need to make sure that you guys are following me. What is it, if you were to explain this to a 3rd grader, the fact that 50% of marriages are going to end in divorce, 70 to 90% of divorces are initiated by the women, and particularly in the black community, black women were the only group that had a higher divorce rate than marriage rate. Now remember, they're the ones divorcing. The woman is the one divorcing. So when we say she has a high divorce rate, that's not the man's fault. She has a divorce rate. Now don't talk to me. Now this is where, now let me stop you there. Because immediately what you're going to say is, well, why did she divorce him? He was abusive. He was toxic. Okay. This is where we get all the way down the rabbit hole of blah, 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 blah. This is why I'm trying to get you guys to learn how to have this conversation. Because this is going to destroy the entire court system. See, if this were a natural world, this information alone, the fact that I've compiled this information, this should be powerful enough to destroy the entire family court system as it is. And we need to rebuild that shit. Because if you're telling me that we're going okay, listen closely. Let's just say this, Mami Rica, let's just say me and you have a child and then we break up, right? This is the statistics right here on who the child is probably going to die with. If the child dies in one of our care, it's probably going to be the mother. This is what it's saying. 70% of the time, the child is not just dies. We're not just talking about accidents. It says killed. It says the mother is killing the child 70% of the time, either alone or with somebody else. What does it mean with somebody else. See, I really wish Solo was here because I want to bring these receipts out. But Solo, because you my nigga, I'm going to give you literally 10 minutes before I bring the heavy hitting shit out, dog. Solo Dolo, cuckoo, 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 cuckoo. Come through. I'm giving you 10 minutes grace period, brother. But after that, I have to go in for the people because I am a YouTuber. Somebody put that in the chat. I am a YouTuber. PewDiePie. I am a YouTuber. Who name some fucking big ass YouTubers? Whoever.
I am Shakespeare in the flesh. Walt Disney, Nike, Google. Now who's gonna be the Medici family and stand up and let me create more? Or do you want
to marginalize me until I'm out of my moment? Matter of fact, I'm a YouTuber. You know why? You know what a YouTuber is, right? A YouTuber is just some guy or gal who picked up a camera, whether it's a really nice camera or just your local fucking Nokia flip phone with a fucking camera phone on it. You picked up a camera and you wanted to say something that you truly believed. You truly felt that shit. Do you remember the first YouTube videos? People wasn't doing this shit for money because there was no money in it. There was no money in YouTube. This is where I come from, where we weren't thinking about doing it for money. Remember, the internet is new. Putting your face on the internet, putting your face in front of everybody, your employer can see this, your mom can see this, your girlfriend can see this, your enemy can see this, the police can see this. You're putting your face in front of the haters, the trolls can see this. That's not quite too easy. But let me play some. Let me dance around this shit because I got some heavy hitting receipts tonight. But I don't want to bring it out. I don't want to bring it out yet because there's some heavy shit. I need my nigga to Solo here because he's been following the story. Now let me ask you guys again, Mami Rika, tell me what would a man be called that was sleeping in a van with his child for an extended period of time, an unknown period of time, sleeping every night with his child in a van at Walmart because that's all he could afford to do? What would the internet call, if you had one word, you guys could throw your favorite word out. What would the one word that if you had one word that they would say on the internet about this father? What would the court say about him? What would the police say about him? What would his baby mama say about him? What would the internet say about him?
This is my morning routine as a single mom living in a van, waking up in a Walmart parking lot. So of course, as soon as we wake up, I make sure to give my toddler lots and lots of cuddles and kisses. Then I like to throw on some clothes because it's a little chilly and I want to make sure we are as warm as possible. After putting myself together, I go on to put Kareem's jacket on and he pulls off the window covers. This is our beautiful view of Walmart. We don't usually park in parking lots, but sometimes that's the case. I then go in to make up the bed so I don't have to do it later on. We then get out of the van and walk into Walmart to use the restroom and brush our teeth. I do have a toilet in my van, but we are already sleeping in a Walmart parking lot, so we might as well utilize all of their services. Since I didn't need anything in Walmart, we were able to just run back to the van. And immediately I get started with cooking some breakfast. So then I set up my kitchen, which is the basic 2-burner propane stove. While I'm doing this, my toddler is usually watching his morning show on his iPad. Today we are making something very simple: sausage, pancakes, and hash browns per Kareem's request. But this is only a pit stop till we get to our next destination, so if you really like these...
So... What would a dad be called? Because the conversation is, again, balancing the scales. Now, here's the thing. If you're not interested in this conversation, it's simply because you don't care about balance, you don't care about fairness, and you don't care about men, you don't care about fatherhood, and in turn, get this, you don't care about families, and you don't care about children, right? Do you understand that? Put the number 1 in the chat if you do not understand how lack of caring about a black father means you do not care about black children. Put the number 1 in the chat if you don't see the connection. Put the number 1 in the chat if you're like Rihanna. Did you see what Rihanna said? I don't need this nigga. Hold on. Let me pull that Rihanna receipt up. Rihanna said, yeah, I don't need this nigga. She says, hell yeah to the idea of becoming a single mom. Rihanna doesn't subscribe to the idea of diminishing you as a mother if there's not a dad in your kid's life. Vogue. Rihanna reborn. And then this comes out. You got this nigga in the back. Look at this nigga in the back. What does he look like? What is he giving in the back? What is this nigga giving? I'm gonna read the comments. Jay said a dude who was sleeping with his child in the van at the Walmart parking lot and brushing the teeth in the Walmart bathroom would be called an ain't shit ass daddy. Mami Rica says, who's the caretaker, Mammy? Rihanna or the one in the van? Future says, ASAP is giving mother vibes. This old mother goose ass nigga, mother love ass nigga. This nigga is mother love. That's ASAP Rocky's new name, Mother Love. That's a cute kid though. Cute little black kid, man. Very beautiful, happy little black boy. I love to see happy black babies. So much love to their baby. I'm not talking no shit like that, but I mean, it's the overall objective to get people to change their perspective on it. You see? Let me see if I can show you some other videos. I'm gonna play some other. I'm gonna prove my point. But I don't like to get too heavy, you know, because I could talk a lot of shit. I could talk about this woman right here. She left her kids in the remember this woman right here? I played her. Her name was Raven Yates. This is the woman that recently out here in Texas, she left her 2 kids at the house for over 2 months. Her kids were 3 years old and 12 years old. She left them at the house with nothing to eat for 2 months. And she was out living her best life. And her 3rd kid, the oldest, the 14-year-old, ran away. And she's posting her booty on social media. And remember, none of these conversations are being shown on the news. And the only time they show them, this is the reason why I say I'm giving you the news that the news doesn't show. Because when the news shows you, I'm showing you this shit before, and I'm showing you in retrospect, and I'm showing you it beforehand. But when the news shows you this shit, what do? The news shows you this, and they say, unfortunately, this happened, this person died, this person's going to jail, and that's it. The community is outraged. There's no type of understanding that comes from the so-called news that you guys watch, CBS or CNN or whatever. There's no actual understanding or balance or clarity or even unbiasedness, true journalism. None of that is present in the news. When they tell you that this woman left her kids and all this other shit, and the 3-year-old was left in feces and all this stuff, they're not going to criticize her as a mother. Yeah, they're gonna say she has a warrant out for her arrest now after the fact. And by the way, this is, look, how do you go from this? Somebody tell me this. This is a whole another thing. How do you go from this to this? Now, I'm not saying it's a bad picture. I'm just saying I had to look at it about 11 times to figure out, how the fuck is this the same person, guys? This person right here is literally the same person as this. So this is who you go home with after that 5th shot of Hennessy. But in the morning you wake up and she's looking like your enemy. Bars. Talk to me in the chat. Bars. This is what she looked like on the 5th shot of Hennessy. You woke up in the morning, the bitch looked like an enemy. And now you find out she has a nice home in Texas, a nice home in the suburbs. She drives an Audi. She got all the latest bags. but her kids are at home 12 years old and 3 years old for 2 months with no food. And guess how they were getting food? The father who was not staying with them. The father was getting them DoorDash and all this other food sent to the house, and he didn't even know the mother wasn't there. Remember that? Look at this, Mami Rica. I played all these receipts yesterday. I have too many receipts. It just gets draining to have this many goddamn receipts. Look at this receipt right here. A 12-year-old cannot take care of a 3-year-old for a long period of time, especially over a month and a half. It's dangerous and irresponsible of a parent. Without medical supplies or ways to get food, that's very dangerous. The children have different fathers, and according to investigator, the woman threatened her 12-year-old daughter that the girl's father would take her and leave her 3-year-old brother alone if she told anyone. So because the little girl had a different dad than the little boy, the mother said, well, if you tell, your dad's just going to take you and leave your little brother here with me, and I'm going to abuse the little boy. So this 12-year-old decided to stick by her brother when she could have went with her dad. But remember, we never want to think about that, and we never want to talk about that until, when do we talk about the dads that are actually there? I think that's a good question. When do dads that are actually there get even talked about? Fuck celebrated. I'm not even asking you to celebrate us. I'm asking, when do the dads even get recognized at all? That you don't even, when you talk about fathers, particularly black fathers, the way that it's spoken of, you would literally think every single one of us is just in our DNA. Once we see the pregnancy results or once we see the baby pop out, we just start running like Usain Bolt. Think about that, guys. This is how far the indoctrination has gone. You believe that black men are just running away like Usain Bolt. Think about it. When we see the kid, does that even make sense? We stayed there for 9 months. We did all this. What? And then let the mother tell it. He didn't even run at first. He waited till the kid was a year old or 6 months old, and he ran away. Like this is how far we are into the matrix. We never even questioned these stories. We just took it on the chin. And I used to wonder why all the rappers that I listened to hated their fathers. Go listen to how Little Bow Wow talks about his father, and all the rappers that said they didn't have a dad. I hated my dad. But fuck him. I never seen him. Think about that. They said I never seen my dad, but fuck him. Which I understand. I'm not going to say it doesn't make sense because you haven't seen him. So fuck him, right? Because he must not care about you, right? Because you haven't seen him, he must not care about you. This is the same argument of an atheist, coincidentally. Because for some reason you haven't seen him and, he doesn't care about you, or he's not there. He doesn't even exist, even worse. But I'm here to set the story straight, and I'm going to use the internet, the interconnected network, to tell the story of all the fathers who haven't been able to tell the story. This is why it's so important what we're doing over here, guys. Talk to me in the chat. This is the reason why I'm giving a shout out to my people on Patreon. You can join me for $3 a month. And that's just to put towards the business. And I'm actually thinking, I have not touched one red cent from my Patreon account. I'm actually thinking about going into the account and using some of the money to make some merchandise, some shirts and some clothes and some stuff like that. So if I do touch the money from the Patreon account, it's definitely going to be to go right back into the entire community we have here. I think what we have here is something special. Everybody who comes in the comments, we all know each other. We've been fucking with each other for a long time. Strong family. We have a lot of laughs, a lot of memories. and we're here for a class. We're not here to joke. Yeah, we joke around. You know, joking is going to be part of it, but we're here to learn. I'm pretty sure if I did a whole stream and I didn't bring out any receipts and I was just making you laugh, you'd like it, but you'd be like, come on, let's talk, let's build. So I am a comedian in a way, but I'm never going to just sit and make you laugh all day. I'm going to make you think. So again, this woman was leaving her kids. No, forgive me. This woman left her kids for 2 months. This is the woman that was in the club that is the same woman, but for some reason she looks completely different. This is the woman that social media sees. This is the woman that the kids see. Imagine when she's at the house screaming at them kids. Let me read the comments. Eric, imagine when this woman is at the house, when she takes her wig off, she takes the eyelashes, she takes the green contacts off, and she's screaming at these kids. She left them in the house for 2 months. Imagine her screaming at them kids. What is she telling them? Better yet, what is she telling them about their father? That's a better question. She come home. Remember I told you about these women coming home in these yoga pants? She come home after 2 months. She took the wig off. She took all that off, right? Now she looking like Whoopi Goldberg in The Color Purple. Now she pull up in the driveway like, I'm home. After 2 whole months, now you want to pull up at the house. Remember, she left a 12-year-old and a 3-year-old home. Then she get to the house. She kick in the door. Why is this house so motherfucking dirty? Why you kids ain't got no goddamn this and that and the third? Believe me, I've heard how a lot of these women talk to their kids. You know what's funny? The black woman is allowed to talk to their kids all type of ways. And let me ask you this. Can the black man talk to his kid any kind of crazy way at all? What happens when the black man says, sit your motherfucking ass down before I whoop your ass? Or exactly what these women be saying. Don't make me come over there because I'm going to have to fuck something up. And all this shit that these black women be saying to their kids. Don't act like you don't know what I'm talking about. We know how the mad black mother is, because we all had her since 1970. Because the dad wasn't allowed to be the mad black dad. He wasn't allowed to put the smack down. Not since 1970. And you can't prove me wrong because I've broken the matrix. That's the funny thing about this YouTube channel. I've literally broken the matrix in certain aspects. Like this single motherhood thing, I destroyed it. I've already destroyed it. I have the evidence all right here. I've already given you all of the evidence in little bitty pieces. It's all right here. Look at the Black Lives Matter core statements. This is from the actual Black Lives Matter website. Look what they believe in. We are a collective of liberators who believe in an inclusive and spacious movement. We also believe that in order to win and bring as many people with us along the way, we must move beyond the narrow nationalism that is all too prevalent in the black communities. We must ensure we are building a movement that brings all of us to the front. We affirm the lives of black, queer, and trans folks. Listen to this. This is the first words out their motherfucking mouth when they're talking about what Black Lives Matter stands for. Mind you, they're walking around with banners of George Floyd's face on it. But when you go to the website, look, this is 3 black women who created this organization. And the first words out their mouth of the people who they're protecting, who? Black, queer, and trans folks. And disabled folks. Look at this. You don't even have to be black, just disabled folks. It didn't say black disabled folks like black queer. It just says disabled and undocumented folks. So you can be a goddamn amputee from Nicaragua. Do you hear me? You get more support from Black Lives Matter if you are an amputee with both of your legs cut off and you come from Nicaragua than a black man in America will get. And I think that's a problem. Folks with records women, so any women, any folk with a record, any undocumented folk, any disabled folk, that's who you worried about. Who's missing here? Okay, we got the women, we got of course they want to protect the kids and this. You got disabled folks, niggas on a wheelchair, okay. You got undocumented folks, niggas from Switzerland or something, I don't know, a nigga from the Ukraine. What are we missing here? Our network centers on those who have been marginalized within black liberation movements. Oh, so they told it. Look at that, guys. They're telling us exactly what it is right there. You know what I was watching last night? This movie, Judas and the Black Messiah. I didn't finish it, but it had me thinking about some stuff. And look at this. She said, our network centers. That's the reason why she's focused on all these people who are not black men. Because she told us right here, our network centers on those who have been marginalized within black liberation movements. And if you go into their ideology and you watch their videos, particularly Patrice Cullors, she's going to tell you that she believes that the women and the gays and all these people were left out of the Black Panthers and they were left out of the black liberation movements. In other words, she's jealous of Malcolm X. Let's go ahead and just put it out there. She's jealous of Malcolm. She thinks Martin was a cheater. So we need to focus on those who have been marginalized. Put a 7 in the chat if you see what I'm seeing. We are working for a world where black lives are no longer systematically targeted, blah, 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 blah. This is actually the actual thing from Black Lives Matter, just so you know. Let me read the second one. Like I told you, I got too many receipts. Look at this one. We are guided by the fact that all black lives matter, regardless of the actual or perceived sexual identity. What the fuck? We're talking about police brutality. You're talking about sex. Do you see how there's a disconnect here? When we're getting our ass beat, when they're hitting us in the head with a fucking hammer or a fucking baton, the last thing we're thinking about is our fucking our sex or our gender identity, our gender expression. Think about that. You're talking about Black Lives Matter, police brutality, but you're focused on someone's perceived sexual identity. And you can go read the rest, because go ahead and screenshot this and read the rest on your own, because it's completely sick and disgusting and ridiculous in my personal opinion. But let's continue, because I definitely have cracked the matrix on this one. Let me see what else we got. How y'all feeling in the chat? I wish my nigga Solo was here, because I can't even show some receipts without this nigga, man. Damn. This nigga fucked up my shit. Okay, I'm gonna show this one though. What y'all think about this?
Hey guys, I don't know if you know, but I have been to the Art of Manifestation for years. I found this website called Satin Says, who provides manifestation products. Like, she has different products like candles, oils, body washes that help you manifest things quicker. Because you know we hate to wait, right? So one of the products that I got from her store is this Wealthy Empire oil. CC. This oil is infused with bay leaves. I don't know if y'all know, y'all probably don't, but I be doing my research before I be using stuff. Bay leaves are used to bring in the energy of wealth into your life. The old Indians used to use bay leaves to bring in the energy of wealth. If you don't believe me, Google it, period. This works. Another product that I like to use of hers is this Feminine Guide. As y'all notice, as you can notice that it's green and it's halfway gone. These products really work. Like, honestly, they do. And I've had a great...
I'm not here to shit on anybody's beliefs, but again, this is going right back into that same old conversation we've had so many time and time again about a lot of our black women dabbling, yes, in witchcraft. And they can call it what they want, but they can never explain where this source of their power is coming from. You're manifesting with this oil and this and this and this serum and this mixture and this tincture. to get you this and that. Where is that? Who is? What's the source? What's the power source? Talk to me. Where did you learn that, right? Because this is also another branch of the conversation. So when we know that the divorces are happening in America at a rate of 50%, Eric, look at this. 50% of divorces or marriages in America will end in divorce. 50%. That's half. That's an alarming statistic. Hold on. Let me find the receipt for y'all, because I got way too many receipts like I told y'all. 50% are going to end in divorce. Right? Okay. Now, I need you to figure out who created the lie. Now that we have some level of understanding, who created the lie that the man is the one that's breaking up the house and he's literally running away? Because the conversation, see, this is why I want you to focus on. If a woman comes out and says, well, I'm a single mother because I left the house due to this and that and the third, now I can't control my children. Let me ask you this. Which one would you have more sympathy for? A woman who the man ran away and she was trying her best, and he ran away when he just fucked her and she got pregnant, and she said, baby, I'm pregnant. He said, I don't want you, bitch. I don't want no kid. And he ran away like they told us. Okay, would you feel sorry for that woman, or would you feel more sorry for the woman that said, I didn't like the way that this man was treating me, so I went and got my own shit, and I took the kid 90% of the time. Now I can't control him, or now he's dead because my new husband molested the little girl and now killed her. Which one would you feel more? Let me make it more specific. The woman has a man who either died or he literally ran away, and then the little girl was molested. Or a woman who said, I want to do this on my own because he's toxic, he's this or whatever else. The conversation is never ending when you ask women, well, why did you file for divorce? It's never ending. But let's just say he cheated, he was toxic, da-da-da-da-da. But now you can't handle your kid. Now you're overwhelmed. Now you're stressed. Which one would you give more sympathy to, guys? I need to know in the chat. I need some more discussion in the chat, y'all. This is a conversation for y'all because I already understand it. I need to make sure that y'all understand it. Like, I need you to literally understand it like a computer would understand it. I don't need you to be like, oh, that makes sense. No. Understand it to where it makes your brain, you recalibrate your shit. Because you need to recalibrate how you act around women, how you act around your mama, how you act around her. And listen, I don't even poke my chest out. 9 times out of 10, I'm not even poking my chest out unless it's necessary. But what I'm saying is, if we don't have more men who are willing to stand on these principles, remember I told you about the yoga pants? I told you guys about the yoga pants. Are you in the chat? Do you know why I talk about these yoga pants like this? The funny thing is about these yoga pants, it's not that I don't like them. I'm talking about it in the same way, let's just say a Muslim. You think the Muslims don't like that ass? The Muslim didn't tell you to cover up because they don't like that ass. Actually, to the contrary. The Muslims told you to cover up because they realized they like that ass too much. You see what I'm saying? The Muslims like that ass a little bit too much, so they said you need to cover that ass up. Do you understand? Talk to me in the chat.
Whenever he was at the door, I buzzed him in and he came inside. My thought process was it was just another dude coming in to work out. So I didn't think of anything out of that. As soon as he was approaching me, I pushed him. I said, bro, what the F are you doing? Get away from me, stop trying to touch me. And he started chasing me around the bench and we ended up on the other side of the gym.
I'm grateful that she came forward. I know that her story is going to be an inspiration to other women.
My advice would be to never give up. My parents always told me in life to never give up on anything. And that's one thing I always kept in my mind when I was fighting him. As long as you don't give up, you fight back, you show him that you are strong, that you are one, that you're able to fight back and survive this and get out of the situation, I believe it's possible.
This is a sick Negro.
Talk to me in the chat. Now, this was something that I saw earlier today, and I figure it was something, you see how it's all coming together? Now, of course, sexual assault is nothing new, so it's not like this is the first or the last time this will happen, but I felt like this is a learning moment for us to have. Now, this woman is in the gym. Now, remember we showed you the video of the woman in the gym feeling uncomfortable because she felt like everybody's staring at her. Now, this might give her a little credibility, mate. Now, let's look at it from the opposite perspective. There are men out here that doing this type of stuff, but my whole point in this is exactly that. If you know, now here's the thing that you have to decide, women. Are you going to be realistic or are you going to be philosophical? Which one are you going to be more? Because unless you're going to make your philosophy somehow real on this world based on fact, unless you could find a way to make your philosophy somehow fact, then they're going to stay in the dream world. But if you want to live in a reality with the rest of us, you have to be honest. So this is the reason why, for instance, what are those guys that carry the money? You ever seen those guys that carry the money into the armored trucks? I'm pretty sure you guys have seen it. They have the little black bag and they're walking around with the gun. They got the vest on. And then they have a whole bunch of, actually they have like 2 or 3 people in the armored truck. There was actually the movie called Dead Presidents where they robbed the armored vehicle. Anyway, if you've ever seen an armored vehicle, you're going to see the dude has the gun. He even has a gun. But he has like maybe $15,000, $20,000 in this bag because he has to go to all the businesses. He has to go to Target and he has to go to these restaurants and pick up large amounts of cash. So he has to get from the company back to his truck without somebody robbing him. You know, anybody would love to run up and take that bag with $30,000 and run off. So he has a gun, he has backup in the truck, and he has his vest. But even with all of that, what is he doing? Looking around, minding his surroundings. He knows the danger of carrying $30,000 in a bag. So are you going to be realistic or not? You're going to be dressed however, going wherever, and your conversation is going to be what? We need to teach men to control themselves. Really? Well, that's like saying we need to teach, if you're asking all men to control themselves, as if sexual assault hasn't been here since the beginning of time, just like prostitution. Okay, how about this? Men will control themselves when women stop prostituting. The day that there's no more prostitutes is the day that men will stop being sexual deviants. It's like basically one and the third. That demographic will always remain a certain sector of society, whether large or small, it's always going to remain. The fact of the matter is this: are you going to leave it up to morals? You want everybody to just have morals. That's kind of like when remember when the COVID first happened? Take yourself back to 2020 when COVID first happened, and they started telling us, now listen closely, guys. I don't know if you remember 2020. It's a lot gone on since then, and most of us want to forget 2020. But remember when they had that period of time when COVID just dropped, and they were like, wear your mask. We want you to sanitize everything, and we want every American to wash their hands 5, 10, 50, 11 times.
That's stupid, guys. Is this camera on me?
Yes, it's on.
That's stupid. Use your common sense, but just use your common sense.
Stop playing. You want every American, the homeless people too, the people who just scratch their nuts and never wash their hands. You know how many people I've seen just take a piss and just walk right out? Here's the thing. If you're going to take a piss and not wash your hands, do it when you're the only one in the bathroom. Don't be pissing with somebody else in the bathroom and walk right past them while they're at the... You know how many times I've been washing my hands at the sink, sat here and watched this guy walk behind me, go take a piss over there, and just walk right out while I'm still washing my hands, and I'm like... Sometimes I tell him, I'm like, excuse me, sir. Talk to me in the chat. You ever did that? To my gentlemen in the chat. Or to my ladies. I don't even want to know. I heard the ladies' restroom is just a fucking atomic bomb. You got fucking Fukushima in the ladies' restroom.
This is disgusting.
And then we could talk about, speaking of Fukushima, we could talk about, wasn't there an oil spill or something like that? Somebody tell me in the chat. Wow, y'all are definitely not commenting at all tonight. Is there something wrong with my internet connection, or is there something frozen? Because it says I have more than 2 people in the chat, but there's only like 3 people commenting. It's really, really strange. Who are these other people watching me? Probably, I know it's probably the people plotting on my downfall. I know I have at least 2 of them watching every time, probably 3, 4. I know you got at least 1 federal aid. You got 1 person working for Google, YouTube. So probably I already have 6 people that don't even want me to be alive watching my streams at all time. But the other 6 people who are really here for me, I need you to comment a little bit. Matter of fact, let's get back to the videos because I think you guys forgot what we were talking about. Did you forget what we're talking about?
This is the prison doctor. Fathers, if you are not in your child's life, then you are making a big mistake. Most of the house calls that I go on are to single women who are trying to raise young boys by themselves. When you are not active in your
This is absolutely ridiculous and disgusting. I can't believe we have mothers teaching their kids this type of crap. Here we go. Trigger warning.
If your daddy ain't shit, clap your hands. If your daddy ain't shit, clap your hands. Yeah.
First of all, this is not even cute. This is not a flex. This is nothing.
And you know what's the beautiful part about it? Could somebody put that in the chat? It's a beautiful time to be alive. The beautiful part about this is that this has been going on, and this is not new. So I please don't try to act like, oh my God, I can't believe these women are acting like this. That's what I really don't like when a lot of women come to my channel acting like they don't know. I can't believe it. So you mean to tell me you're a woman? You've been around women. You don't know none of this stuff that I'm bringing out. None of this stuff. All of this is brand new. Well, either way, maybe it is brand new. I don't know, but all I know is the internet is definitely bringing that motherfucker out, ain't it? Here's one thing for black women. I have a question for you in the chat. Why do you encourage this?
Boy, fuck Valentine's. You ain't getting no fucking gift from me. You done lost your fucking mind. This is the gift. This is the motherfucking gift. You know it's pink like bubble gum. Wet like the Niagara Falls. Smell and taste like citrus thanks to the booty oil from her fantasy box. My stuff stay together, baby. So
hey, do you ever wonder, like, what is going on? I mean, like, do you ever, like, wake up or do something and you're just like, what the fuck is going on?
boy, fuck Valentine's. You ain't getting no fucking gift from me. You You done lost your fucking mind. This is the gift. This is the motherfucking gift. You know it's pink like bubble gum. Wet like the Niagara Falls. Smell and taste like citrus thanks to the booty oil from her fantasy box. My stuff stay together, baby. So cut the salutations. We don't never do that romance shit. Come over here, lay that pipe, and let's move on. Yeah, let's have sex. Look, how you want it, baby? Look. Bow! 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 Let's get it out the way. And I don't want them cheap-ass gifts neither. That old-ass moldy chocolate been sitting in the Dollar General since Adele set fire to the rain. I don't want that. I don't want that. And that teddy bear that looks slow. Look like it's on methamphetamine. Save that shit. Come over here. Let's fucking move on. Let's fucking move.
This is disgusting.
The question is, how did black women allow that? Talk to me in the chat. How and why did black women allow that? Can anybody answer me in the chat? How and why did black women allow that? Who else do you think allowed that? Let me ask you a better question. If you saw a white rapper coming out, you niggas, like Tekashi 6ix9ine, who's to blame for that? Right? I'm pretty sure you can tell me who you would blame and who you expect to check that shit if Tekashi 6ix9ine came out talking like one of us and talking about a nigga. Or not even Tekashi, especially a red man. At least Tekashi's a Latino, whatever. But a red man coming out talking that, who would you expect to check that? So here's my question to the black woman. Who's supposed to check this red man who's clearly disrespecting black women by adapting a fake persona? Can y'all hear me? This man adapted a fake persona based off of the stereotypical black woman. And the question is, how did y'all allow that? And it's nobody else allowed that. He's a red man, but the only reason you don't think, why do you think he's so confidently speaking like a black woman? And yes, that's what he's trying to articulate, the African American vernacular English. Let's not act like, oh well, why are you saying that only black women talk like that? Yes, that's African American vernacular English. The mannerisms, the speech pattern, the cadence, the words that he's using, all of it is African American vernacular English, and it's clearly the woman's African American vernacular English. So who else could check him? And who else gave him the green light? You know how many times he did that shit more and more and more? And he got more and more confident every time a black woman said, yes, bitch, yes. And again, it's not about being hateful or nothing to the, but when you can see this, if you do not realize how ridiculous, not only ridiculous this is, but how much of a mockery it is to black people and black women, and if you do not see that black women are the ones who not only single-handedly encourage this, but you're the single-handed one that's gonna have to end that shit and check this man and tell him, stop all that extra shit, okay? Because you're not gonna act like that. Police pull you over. I bet you're gonna fix your voice and fix your demeanor when you gotta go to a fucking corporate job interview. But when you come around us, oh yes, and nah. See, okay. Again, I'm just giving you the news that the news doesn't show, so that later, when all this comes back to bite y'all in the ass, you cannot say that you didn't know what was going on.
Boy, fuck Valentine's. You ain't getting no fucking gift from me. You done lost your fucking mind. This is the gift. This is the motherfucking gift. You know it's pink like bubble gum. Wet like the Niagara Falls. Smell and taste like citrus thanks to the booty oil from her fantasy box. My stuff stay together, baby. So cut the salutations. We don't never do that romance shit. Come over here, lay that pipe, and let's move on. Yeah, let's have sex. Look, how you want it, baby? Look. Bow! 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 Let's get it out the way. And I don't want them cheap-ass gifts neither. That old ass moldy chocolate been sitting in the Dollar General since Adele set fire to the rain. I don't want that. I don't want that. And that teddy bear that looks slow, look like it's on methamphetamine. Save that shit. Come over here. Let's fucking move on. Let's fucking move on.
Talk to me in the chat. Am I right? Am I wrong? Am I off base? See, I'm lying if I would lie. I'd be lying if I said it's still not frustrating to reach a larger audience. I'd be lying if I said it wasn't frustrating. Sometimes I wonder, is it my productivity? What is it that's lacking about my content that will not allow me to reach 1,000 subscribers? Why, guys? Why am I stuck at 435 subscribers? I know I'm shadow banned, but there's no fucking way I'm that shadow banned, right? Why can't we have this discussion on a larger platform? Again, I'm grateful for the platform that I have. Why? Because we could have conversations like this.
Tell me, what is gas?
Weed.
I just want to hear you say it. Weed. Right. How often have you smoked it so far?
No, just when I'm not feeling it.
Okay, so you've been doing this for like months, a year now, or just a few months, a few weeks? Months, okay. How do you get this weed?
Myself.
Where's the weed at now?
I ain't got none right now.
Okay. You get it from friends in the streets or in school? This is important, little bro.
Everywhere.
Everywhere. It's not hard to find weed. How much do you pay for weed?
Depends how much I want.
My man. What's the most you ever bought?
Like a zip.
Like a zip. And where are you getting the money to purchase weed? I know where you get it from, but I just want to hear you say it.
Breaking in cars.
Breaking in cars. Yeah. Very prevalent. Man, listen. Appreciate your honesty.
Somebody put that in the chat. That's the prison doctor. Remember I told you I fuck with the prison doctor. That's the prison doctor in work. So I would never shit on that man like he's not out here putting work. That man is going all throughout the United States, it looks like, getting house calls to go and talk to these kids and straighten them out and stuff. This is one of his most recent ones. He was filming. He didn't put the little boy's face on there, but there was some 14-year-old boy. And his mom called like he was smoking a lot of weed, and and it turns out he was breaking into cars to get the money to buy ounces of weed at 14 years old. Listen to this, guys. Now shout out to the prison doctor for getting that footage. 14 years old, this boy admitted to breaking into cars. Remember, I showed you the footage 2 weeks ago. You see how all of this falls back in line? 2 weeks ago, I showed you the footage, all praise be to the Most High God, of the kid who was 14 years old, 13 years old, breaking into cars in Chicago or whatever, and he got shot and killed by one of the homeowners. And he was out 4 a.m. in the morning. His mom didn't know what the fuck. She's somewhere else. She tried to blame. Remember that woman? Put a 7 in the chat if you remember the mother of the little boy who got killed, 14 years old. And then she went on the internet. I mean, she went on the social media, not social media. She went on press conference, and she was just waiting, and she was, I'm this and that and the third. Remember?
We're not gonna be there every single time and at every single moment. And my son, he was a young man. I count on him. He helped me in my household. I don't live with a man. I live with me and my 4 children. He was the man of the house.
Imagine that. Imagine a woman. No, let this, because remember, I'm always flipping back on his head. Can y'all hear me? Fuck this internet. Get the internet right. Imagine a man, right? And his kid was killed in the streets. And then they asked him, well, where's the mom? He's like, I don't live with a woman. Imagine that. The little kid gets killed. He's a single dad. They said, where's the mom? He's like, I don't live with the woman. It's me and my kids. And my 13-year-old son or my 13-year-old daughter was the woman of the house. I don't live with a woman. Imagine.
We're not gonna be there every single time and at every single moment. And my son, he was a young man. I count on him. He helped me in my household. I don't live with a man. I live with me and my 4 children. He was the man of the house. He was the man of the house. He was the man of the house. That's who. We're not gonna be there every single. We're not gonna be there every single time and at every single moment. And my son, he was a young man. I count on him. He helped me in my household. I don't live with a man. I live with me and my 4 children. He was the man of the house. He was the man of the house. He was the man of the house.
Talk to me in the chat. The 13-year-old black boy in 2023 is the man of the house. Isn't that a scary thought? Black man, how do you feel about that? I mean, because it seemed like everybody else is just doing whatever the fuck they want. That's why I come and pop my shit on the internet. Because everybody else is doing what the fuck they want. Why the fuck wouldn't I do what the fuck I want? How does it feel to know the little boys, your children are asking their mommy, do I have a daddy?
What you say?
Do I have a dad?
Why you ask that?
I don't know, but do I have one?
Of course you do.
To the dumbass mom. She almost sounds shocked or offended that the little boy asked, do I have a dad? Why you ask that? Why did he asked that? Because he was watching Little Bill, bitch. He saw the mom and dad on Little Bill. He wants to know where the fuck his dad is, dummy.
What you say?
Do I have a dad?
Why you ask that?
I don't know, but do I have one?
Of course you do.
What's his name again?
His name is Tyrell.
Tyrell?
Mm-hmm.
Mom, does he know I'm really smart or does he not?
I don't think he knows.
Why? Ever since I tell him I'm really good.
What do you mean?
Tyrell.
What about?
Like, if I tell him I'm really good, he will trust us, I think.
Jakai,
That's a sad story. You know, I realize I have to do one of these classes every so often. It's almost like every like 6 months or something like that. I got to do one of these classes where it's just straight all about this. And I never really get a lot of engagement in the comments because I know it's a hard pill to swallow. I know it's really a hard pill to swallow, so that's why sometimes I do a lot of videos where I'm laughing and joking and stuff. This shit makes my fucking body tense up and shit. My back, my neck, I crack my shit. I don't like hearing about this shit, y'all. And there's actually some worse videos, and I'm luckily Solo Dolo isn't in the chat because then I would have to show the real videos. But maybe I won't get that deep tonight. But I want you guys to realize why I'm a YouTuber. I'm doing YouTube because I'm really living this shit. And what YouTube is, think about the name YouTube. YouTube, it's the tube, it's YouTube. You know, they call the TV, back in the day, they called the TV the boob tube. I don't know where the fuck they got that from, but that's what the old people call the TV, the boob tube. And so they have this thing called YouTube, which is like the TV, but it's you, which is a perfect fucking idea, beautiful idea. But just like all of technology, they gotta do too fucking much. Remember I told you I was trying to do my laundry and they took out the laundry, the washer and dryer with the quarters, and they put the laundry with, you have to download an app on your smartphone now to wash your clothes. What the fuck? I gotta get on my phone. What if my phone ran out of batteries? What if I don't have a phone? What if I barely have enough money to wash my fucking underwear? But now I gotta download an app, and then I downloaded the app. Listen, guys, I told you, and I don't know what the fuck. I downloaded the app, and then they want to know my location. So now I don't know if this is a government spy technology thing. You got to know my location just for me to wash my underwear on the smartphone that I downloaded the app on. So I did all of that, and then they said, sorry, we don't recognize your fucking location.
Yeah. You can't make this shit up, people. You cannot make this shit up.
So what I'm saying is, at some point, technology just kind of peaks, you know? And then after that, you just start doing stupid shit. Because remember, technology is supposed to be for the people. People control technology. Technology helps people. It's not supposed to be a burden. Oh, god damn, I gotta give them my credit card number and type in my zip code, and I'm dying right now. I need a sip of water. Sorry, $9.99, and give us your email. Sorry, we don't recognize your user password. That's another thing. I don't like the talking to the robots. You should hear me talking to the motherfucking robots when they tell me, when I'm calling for Sprint or something like that. Hello, blah, blah, blah. Press number 4. I'm like, okay, would you like to this or that? Or maybe you want to do this. Okay, this. Okay, give us your username, password. Okay, 7745. Sorry, we do. Can y'all hear me? Can y'all see me? I know my thing was going up. I know my internet was going out. I was just basically saying I don't like all this technology. I think the technology is getting too advanced for even us. Y'all heard me in the chat? The technology is getting even too advanced for us. I don't like talking on the phone to Sprint or whatever, and they give me the fucking robot. I be cursing the robots out. You hear me? Put a 7 in the chat if you've ever cursed at the robot that talks to you. You know, it's like, I usually be like, okay, I'll press 0 or I'll speak to a representative. So they'll be like, what would you like to do? This, that, that. I'm like, speak to a representative. They're like, excuse me, I don't understand. I'm like, speak to a representative. They're like, excuse me, I don't understand. I'm like, bitch, speak to a motherfucking representative. And they're like, we're getting you someone right now, sir. I'm like, oh, so you understand me. And you know they're always recording, but there's no law against cursing out those robots. And all those fucking companies that use the robots, listen, the robot is okay for 1 or 2 things. Don't have me completing 37 tasks with the robot before I get to do this. I need to talk to a human. I'm paying fucking $120 a month for this fucking phone or whatever. I need to speak to a human right now when I have a problem. Like I told you, the technology, you got to be careful for that technology, guys. Put that in the chat. Put a 7 in the chat. You got to be literally careful about that technology.
To be able to find better ways to monitor whether somebody is paying attention or they're doing something different. The newest way to monitor attention is through a device like this one. These are ear pods that are launching later this year. These ear pods, much like the video you watched earlier, are ear pods that can pick up brainwave activity and tell whether or not a person is paying attention or their mind is wandering. Okay, well, you might think, fine, but even if we can tell whether a person is paying attention or their mind is wandering, you can't tell what they're paying attention to. You would be wrong. It turns out that you can not only tell whether a person is paying attention or their mind is wandering, but you can discriminate between the kinds of things that they're paying attention to. Whether they're doing something like central tasks, like programming, peripheral tasks, like writing documentation, or unrelated tasks, like surfing social media or online browsing. When you combine brainwave activity together with other forms of software and surveillance technology, the power becomes quite precise. So what do we do with this? What do we do with technology that enables us to monitor brainwave activity for attention? Do we embrace it? Do we resist it? I believe that there is a pathway forward with such technology, but it's putting it in the hands of employees, enabling them to use it for themselves as a choice, whether or not they want to focus, whether or not they want the technology in order to improve their own performance, but not using it as a measure of their brain metrics to decide whether to fire them, hire them, or to watch for their lagging cognitive decline over time and using it as a way to discriminate against them. Reasons why we want to
closely to that, guys. Now there's allegedly, now remember, all of this to me, if you ask me, this is the devil that the Bible speaks of, but you know, that's just me. The question is, do they really have the technology? Listen to what she's telling you guys. This is not a Saturday Night Live skit. This woman is literally telling you that they have a technology to put some earphones on you, basically, and monitor your brain waves to know what you're paying attention to. Right? So essentially, you can't even plot no more. You can't even plot. In other words, they're going to know your next move. Wow. Wow, they're going to know your next. This is literally the devil, because remember, technology should never be scary to the point where it's like, okay, it starts moving in on your own personal humanity. Now, I'm sure the airplane was scary at first, right? That's a technology, airplanes. I'm sure that was scary, but that was never intruding on your personal human experience. You didn't have to get on that motherfucker. If you wanted to try it out, just like today, you still might crash, but you're gonna try it out. But this shit here, this technology, why do we need the technology to know what someone else is paying attention to? Why can't that person just only pay attention to what they want to pay attention to, and you don't need to know? See, because you need to ask yourself, this is the question you need to ask yourself. If they have this technology, what are the capabilities? Can somebody talk to me in the chat? What are the capabilities of somebody with this type of technology? Can you imagine the type of technology that these people are starting to create?
Today I'm testing what looks to be the most realistic voice changer I've ever come across. It's a very impressive technology that can turn even my voice into, for example, Morgan Freeman. I can just talk in this amazing voice, right? Or
maybe even Joe Biden. What's cool is that all the voices are community made. So people have made like
Massey from Overwatch or
Morty from my favorite show, Rick and Morty. There's also voices of celebrities, internet celebrities like
Mr. Beast. Put that in a burger.
and even Markiplier, which is pretty awesome. I'm having lots of fun with it, and
Oh my god! Wow! Oh my god!
Watch it again. Understand that this is actually going on. Watch it again.
today I'm testing what looks to be the most realistic voice changer I've ever come across. It's a very impressive technology that can turn even my voice into, for example, Morgan Freeman. I can just talk in this amazing voice, right? Or
maybe even Joe Biden. What's cool is that all the voices are community made. So people have made like
Messi from Overwatch. Or
Morty from my favorite show, Rick and Morty. There's also voices of celebrities, internet celebrities like
Mr. Beast. Put that on a burger.
And even Markiplier, which is pretty awesome. I'm having lots of fun with it, and it's free.
Now talk to me in the chat, guys. Damn. What are the capabilities of this technology? What do you think, Future? A technology that's already being developed. Well, actually, let me put it this way. If they're showing you this technology, I just need you to understand that they already perfected the technology. They're just trying to give it to you now. For whatever reason. They want you to have a piece of this technology. They already perfected this shit. That's why they're showing it to you with Elon Musk and stuff like that. So Elon Musk is like, yeah, we're working on this thing. Okay, have you ever wondered when they be like, yeah, we're working on this thing that where you could do this, you could do that. When do you stop working on it? When are they done? How long do these projects take? When you say you're working on this shit, it sounds like, oh, maybe in 10 years we'll figure out. No, they do this shit very quickly. And by the time they announce it to you, they already fixed it. They already did it. So now they have the technology to Eric. Imagine you speak into, like right now, maybe you speak into a microphone or somebody taps your cell phone and they hear you talking, or somebody standing next to you and they record your voice for 30 seconds. They could use that 30 seconds of audio, put it into some AI generator, and they've already matched your cadence, the depth of your voice, the way you talk, your lingo, your accent, all of that. It sounds exactly like you. Like they could make you say some wild shit. Do you hear me? Can y'all hear me? They could literally make you say the most wildest shit and you wouldn't even know it. Hold on one second. Thought I had another receipt. I have a lot of receipts, but I thought I had this one I was going to there's this one receipt I want to show you, but I don't want to get a strike on YouTube. Yeah, I'm going to show that another time because I don't want to get a strike on YouTube yet. I back down to strikes on YouTube. So for now, I think I'm good. Let's play another receipt, guys. Let me get back to this main story because I don't want to deviate from the point. I know it's not a fun topic to talk about, but it's an important topic to talk about. We need to tackle this because it's about the kids at the end of the day. It's not about attacking the mothers. It's really not. For all I know, the mothers could just walk around like this all day.
I would say sexy, fierce, nonchalant, bougie, badass, but also very, very sharp. And like, that's me all day. I love to be naked.
Yeah. You can't make this shit up, people. You cannot make this shit up.
I would say sexy, fierce, nonchalant, bougie, badass, but also very, very sharp. And like, that's me all day. I love to be naked. I love sex appeal. I love my body. I love to show it off. So like, Saint Laurent is for me.
They could do that for all I but these are the people in charge of the kids 90% of the time. Now the question is of the evening. There's really two main questions of the evening. The first question is, do black men really not love their kids and we just run off like 90% of the time? Is that really what's going on? Like, let's really have the conversation. I'm willing to have the conversation. I want anybody. That's why I want this. I'm willing to go. I got smoke for anybody on this topic. I don't give a fuck if you went to Harvard, Yale. You know them niggas like to, well, you know, I'm a doctor. I got my PhD, brother. You might not want to, you know, have you read this book? Have you read this book about, listen, okay, well, I got the data right here. Don't name me the book. Show me the data. Because I'm not about to read through a whole fucking Bible of information just to get this data that I already got. This is the data right here. 50% of marriages in America are going to end in divorce. Out of those divorces, 70 to 90% of those are filed by the woman. In the black community, the black woman is the only one that gets divorced more than she gets married. Out of all the races, look at this right here. This is not my making this shit up. Can y'all hear this? Read the bottom paragraph with me, guys. Black women were the only group that had a higher divorce rate than a marriage rate. So it's not about attacking, it's about having a real conversation. It's unfair to constantly be throwing it on the dads like, and yes, I go hard on this. Listen, would I be going hard like this if my kids were in my life and everything was going perfect? Who knows? Probably not. Probably not as hard. I would definitely still be aware of it and be talking about it because it's obvious. But of course, I have a personal horse in this race because I have my own situation with my kids. Right? So when I talk about this stuff, you guys got to understand, we need to have a conversation about the mothers because we've had a conversation about the fathers for a long time, right? And when we do have conversation about black fathers, what do we say? What do we say when we have a conversation about the black fathers? Let's name some of the things that they like to say. Can you name some of the things that they like to say when they talk about black fathers in America? Because it's like, we really just run away like that? Who said this? Rihanna said this or what? Who said this? Who put that in the mud? Because I still got some other receipts that's heavy. Matter of fact, Solo, I hope my brother Solo's good. I'll play it for him next time. Matter of fact, nah, I'm not going to play that either. That's going to get me. What about that?
How are you talking about yourself, bro?
Right.
And you don't give a
It's not my fault.
I don't care.
You're not going to fault me for that. That's like the magic bullet. I'm not biting your magic bullet.
You are the only parent in the house,
I'm
bro.
so bound. I'm not biting.
This is a sick Negro.
How are you talking about yourself, bro?
Right.
And you don't give a
It's not my fault.
I don't care.
You're not going to fault me for that. That's like the magic bullet. I'm not biting your magic bullet.
You are the only parent in the house,
I'm
bro.
so bound. I'm not biting
You
the magic bullet.
the only parent in the house. That's why I gotta do this. I gotta do for
brother
my
was
daughter.
murdered, and you're not going to tell me
talking
that I
about
was robbed at
yourself.
gunpoint.
Why? Why are you talking about yourself, bro?
Because you think you're being selfish right now.
How?
Because you're screaming at me. You should respect me.
Let us take a moment.
So a lot of the times, it might be, look, we might need black women to step up and start giving their confessions on J-Lethal channel. And you know, I'm gonna bring this because I know I did this impromptu class, so I'm not really mad that some people aren't in the chat or whatever. I really didn't know I was gonna do a chat tonight, but I had some information and I didn't want to wait. I want to give you a new class. I don't know. Anyway, we might need some black women to come out and start speaking because look at this black woman here. she's on this show and she has so much aggression about being the. Now, of course, remember, this is why I'm bringing you all this data, guys. I'm about to break it all to you. Now look at this story here. This young woman, she's mad at her mother, but her mother's like basically giving the I did the best that I could, right? And so this is why I keep on bringing you this conversation, because there's two women in a relationship. Either you left this man, right? Or he died and he left you. There's only two possibilities. There's literally only two possibilities in a relationship. Either you left him or he left you. But the only story that's been told is that he left you. So that leaves you as a perpetual victim, right? Because when all the stories are he left you, and we never even fathomed to think that you left him. He left you. He ran away. Now you can play the I tried my best. I just did my best. He didn't do anything. I didn't have no help. I tried my best. So now when you have this young woman who's clearly hurt, and clearly some things that have happened to her that we don't even know, the mother's still stone-faced. The mother's still trying to protect her ego. See, if my child was screaming at me, telling me how much I let them down, I would be devastated. Because I love my child. I would never want my child to look at me like I let them down or nothing like that. I'm already dealing with not wanting them to feel like that right now. But if they ever express that to me, the last thing I'm going to do is just have a stone cold face and be like, so, it ain't my fault. It ain't my problem. Somebody put that in the chat. It ain't my fault. You remember that song? This is what this is how a lot of these black women just walk around bumping that song. Oh, it ain't my fault.
My whole childhood you talking about yourself, bro.
Right.
And you don't give a.
It's not my fault.
I don't care.
You're not going to fault me for that. That's like the magic bullet. I'm not biting
you
the magic bullet.
You are the only parent in the house,
I'm
bro.
I'm bound. I'm not biting the magic bullet.
You the only parent in the house. That's why I got to do this. I got to do for my daughter.
It's sad. So we just need to have a full-on conversation with everybody involved, not just black men talking on a podcast like you like to call us, but even black women as well, because there's a large amount of black women that, and forgive me, I'm getting a little, it was cold this morning and I was sneezing and shit, so there's a large amount of black women that speak up for black men. A large amount. But we need you to be more vocal. Don't just comment. You are not being brave. Let me go on here's a hot take for all the ladies in the chat. You are not brave for leaving a comment that you support me. I appreciate your support, but don't think that you're brave. You need to be brave. That's what I'm asking you to do, as well as support. I appreciate the support, but hell, I'm telling you, if you support me, this is what I need from you. I would much rather you be vocal, or you at least find your own unique way to do what you know needs to be done. Like, and stop acting like when I show you this Cardi B shit, you're so surprised. And here's one last request for my ladies in the chat. When I show you this picture right here, hold on. Where's the picture? Not this picture. Ladies, when I show you this picture right here, stop acting surprised, okay? Because every time I have the ladies in the chat, they're just acting surprised about all the things that I'm talking about. Stop acting surprised. Okay? Now, can we move forward? 7 in the chat if you're listening, we can move forward. You over there got ladies in the chat looking like Muhammad Ali in the ring. These ladies looking like Muhammad Ali. Now let's continue because remember the conversation is pretty deep. What is the conversation about? What is the conversation about? When are we gonna stop having okay, I'm just gonna keep on continuing because I know why I'm doing this. I'm doing this so that the information is out there. What happens? See, the problem is the information has not been out there. I didn't know that black women are put a 7 in the chat if you knew that black women were the only women on earth that get divorced more than they get married. Be honest. That's if you knew that in particular, if you knew, or how about this? Here's the better question. If you did not know that black women were the only group of women to get divorced more than they get married. We already know that they're the least married group of women on earth. They're the least married. We knew that. But did you know? Put a one in the chat if you did not know. How about that? So I know the people who didn't know like myself. If you did not know that they divorce more than they marry. And 70 to 90% of it is because of the woman. Now again, this is where the conversation goes after this. The conversation goes, well, Josh or J-Lethal, you're not talking about what the man does wrong. The man, he was toxic. He was abusive. He was a cheater. He was this and that, right? Now, I want to give you some stats again just to be clear, just so we can all have clarity and all that. It says here that only 6% of divorces are because of domestic violence. So stop with that abuse shit. 6% of divorces are ended because of, so when you're talking about, I left because he was abusive, only 6% of that is the reason. 50% basically is lack of commitment or incompatibility. So either he's cheating on you or you're just not happy. And I was going to show this receipts, but I'm not going to hold back because, tomorrow isn't promised. I'm going to put it all on the line. Solo, I hope you watch this video back, brother, because this one's for you. This one's for Solo Dolo. Remember this video right here? Or no, remember this receipt right here? What did she say? Tia and Tamara. Look at Tia and Tamara. You remember Tia? She got a divorce from her black husband, and she said she graduated from that nigga. Now she's all over Instagram looking stupid and goofy, looking for a stepdaddy or whatever the fuck she's looking for. Stella got her groove back, right? Let's look at what Tia's doing after she graduated. Talk to me in the chat. Somebody put that in the chat. After she graduated from her man, what is Tia doing? Let's see. Where's Tia? Tia and Tamara. Tia.
Having patience makes all the difference.
Boy, fuck Valentine's. You ain't getting no.
Having patience makes all the difference when it comes to my curls. When using the curl gel, I apply right after I hop out of the shower when my hair is fully wet. This allows the product to fully soak in. I then immediately start to scrunch, which helps start to form the curls. Now's the hard part. No touching. I let my hair fully dry before picking it out and styling it. This helps me avoid frizzy hair. A little difference can leave you with big results.
But wait, there's more. Hang on to your seat, baby, cause this one's a screamer.
My whole childhood you talking about yourself, bro.
Right.
And you don't give a
It's not my fault.
I don't care.
You're not going to fault me for that.
What's good, y'all? So recently I've been noticing something about older black women. And let me say this first, I don't think it represents most black women, especially on a grassroots level. However, I do think it's a good enough portion on the mainstream and even grassroots level for me to at least bring this up. Now, what I'm talking about is how they dress, okay? Of course, we're blessed with this beautiful melanin, so we're going to look a little younger than other groups regardless, okay? But where I'm seeing a problem is black women actively trying to look younger. And in a tasteless way. Like, look at this. First example. Mary J, not hating on the FBA queen. We love her. Auntie, you doing it. But are you turning 52 or 25? Because I swear I've seen women in the club who was turning 25 in similar dresses. Auntie, Barbs, don't come for me. But come on, she's 40. She's 40. Look at the pose. She's 52. She's 18. They got a 40-year age difference, but they in the same pose with the same clothes on. What's going on? This is not to say that these women have to dress like grandmas or like real conservative, real moderate, like they back in the 60s or something like that. But it's like there's still an appropriate way to dress after a certain age. Prime example, Nia Long, 52, girl. Get it, auntie, you look good. Sanaa Lathan, 51. Girl, yes, auntie, I love it. And I don't think a lot of older black women understand how that kind of brings you down like a couple notches. Like when I see older women who are dressed appropriately, dressed like my mother dresses or how my grandmother dressed, there's a degree of respect I automatically have. Like on a subconscious level. I automatically put you in the place of my mother or my auntie or as an elder or older person. So if we're in the same Fashion Nova fit, like, even if I'm not thinking it in that moment, it's still, again, a subconscious thing. I'm bringing you down to my level because we look the same, especially if you actually do look young. And that also breeds a level of disrespect within mothers and their daughters, specifically. It's funny because they say don't play with me like I'm one of your little friends, but then turn around and dress like one of your little friends. How you expect me not to play with you? Like, as a mother or even an auntie, an older black woman in general, you should be what we aspire to look like at that age. Not what we currently look like right now. You should have pieces, dresses, you know, look like things I want to acquire when I get older. Things I can use to remake with my own style, but also still in alignment with my age and inspired by you. And I get it, that we're in a new age, you know, we have social media. Then we mix in this delusional feminist propaganda that, you know, when we're in our youth, it's not our prime. Can be just as beautiful for however long we want. Shaming beauty standards, acting like men are predators or crazy for finding youth attractive. Then turn around and emulate that same look that they're going for in younger women. It's hypocritical and inappropriate. Like, stay on your level. Stop clinging to the past and show us what to look forward to in the future.
Can y'all hear me? Shout out to ZZ. Shout out to ZZ. Go to her channel, A to Z TV. Yeah, and so that's to show you that yes, there are a lot of black women that are calling this out, and that's why I want you guys to remember it's still a beautiful time to be alive, because the progress is happening before our very eyes, but you have to be aware of how it looks. The progress, you know what's another sign of progress? Dreadlocks. Everybody has. You can say it's a trend. Fair enough. It might be a trend that everybody's trying to get, grow their hair out and get locks or whatever. It might be a trend, I don't know. But all I do know is not since the 70s have black people been wearing their natural hair like this. And I'm talking black kids, black adults, black everybody. Because remember, for the longest, what was it? You have to be they didn't call it corporate. What did they call it? Clean cut. I think that's what they called it. You had to be clean cut and professional and shaved and all this, and that includes the haircut and everything, especially for black men. You know very well we did not have dreadlocks in the 1990s, and if we had cornrows, that was very frowned upon. That's another thing I don't really hear people ever talking about. This wasn't in the 1960s. I'm talking about in the 1990s. Hell, the early 2000s. If you had braids like Allen Iverson, you were immediately stereotyped. 2002, 2001, 2002. If you had braids, talk to me in the chat. If you had, nobody in America had dreads barely. But if you literally look around today, I don't know where y'all live. Maybe it might be different where y'all live. Where do y'all live at? I'm living in the South, particularly Texas. I mean, maybe it might be different in New York or some shit, I guess. I can imagine in New York, but hell, look at New York. Jay-Z has dreadlocks now. Nas has dreadlocks now. So even some of y'all biggest New York icons have. And so, to me, I look at that as a revolution. I look at that as something to move forward. Let me play some more receipts, just so that we get the picture clear. How about this? It's Black History Month, guys. Somebody put that in the chat. It's Black History Month. Stop this shit. Stop it, guys.
Blessings full of my yard. Blessings full of my yard. That's why I set my alcohol. I don't wanna reason bad things no more. I don't wanna go back to where I did before. Make nobody stress me, don't disturb me, cha. I sip my alcohol. I don't wanna reason bad things no more. I don't wanna go back to where I did before. Make nobody stress me, don't disturb me, cha.
What the fuck?
Yeah, man.
Blessings full of my yard. Blessings full of my yard. That's why I set my alcohol. I don't wanna reason bad things no more. I don't wanna go back to where I did before. Make nobody stress me, don't disturb me, cha. I sip my alcohol. I don't wanna reason bad things no more. I don't wanna go back to where I did before. Make nobody stress me, don't disturb me, cha.
What the fuck?
Talk to me in the chat, guys. We got to stop that too in Black History Month. Listen, I'm not against interracial marriage, but I'm willing to say this. I'm not against interracial marriage, but you know what I'm against? I'm against interracial marriage where you're going to be dancing on TikTok with wings hanging up in your house. This man literally has a white Jesus hanging up in his house dancing with the white woman on Black History Month. Come on, we gotta do better, guys. Let's do better, guys. I'm gonna play this one next time, but this one's a heavy hitter. This one's the heavy, guys. Who's with me in the chat? Put a 7 in the chat if y'all can hear me. This one's the hitter. I don't even know if I don't really have a lot of the usual suspects commenting too much tonight. I know it's a tricky conversation to have. That's why anytime I have these conversations, for whatever reason, I never have much engagement. But let me read some comments real quick. The brother Eric says, Jay, why are we pretending that the American government is not very responsible for breaking apart the black family? Why are we not bringing those issues up to the conversation? Well, that's a good point. But if you've watched my channel enough, which I know you're kind of new to my channel, Eric, but if you've watched my channel enough, you know that that's my whole point. My whole point is that the American government is the one responsible for this. But however, that doesn't mean that we let black women off the hook. That doesn't mean that we don't let black women know what they're doing wrong and show them how they're doing wrong. That doesn't mean that we don't hold them accountable, because guess what? A lot of black, regardless of what the government planned on doing, without the woman accepting his handout and without the woman accepting his plan, which a lot of these women are clearly accepting, it's not like they're just falling victim to the red man's plan. They're gaining the benefits of the red man in order to turn against a lot of them. They know about the child support system. They're literally utilizing the things that the government set up. So yes, we're going to spend time talking about how the government set up this destructive plan, but that's obvious, isn't it? Isn't it obvious that the government set this up? We need to talk more about who accepted it. The same way I talk about the gangbangers. I talk about the gangbangers too. Yeah, that's another one that was set up by the American government. But does that mean we don't hold gangbangers responsible? Talk to me in the chat. I know this is a hard conversation, man. I'll probably call it a night a little early tonight. I do have more receipts, but I really these are so hard hitting, guys, that I don't even think y'all are ready tonight. Y'all haven't been really engaging too much. I'm not mad. It's okay. But I do love y'all. But here. How about this? Fuck it. I'm gonna just play these just for the sake of playing them, because I call myself J-LEETHAL, and I take that name very seriously. So
he has been the one that has given me the confidence and the strength to be everything I am today.
Tonight, the father of 12-year-old Elena Smith is speaking out after she was found dead in her Lancaster County home last week. Thanks for staying with us. For Fox 43 News at 10, I'm Amy Lutz.
I'm Evan Forrester. Elena's father released a 15-minute video on YouTube expressing his sadness over his daughter's murder. As Fox 43's Matt Kleinens explains, he hopes to carry on her legacy.
In an emotional YouTube video, Dwayne Smith is speaking out about the death of his 12-year-old daughter, Elena. Elena's body was found in her Columbia home on Friday, inside a basement freezer. Smith says she was a great student, friend, and sister, and the best daughter he could have asked for.
I'm never going to be the same. I'm dead inside.
39-year-old Jason Shackelford was arrested after admitting to killing Elena. Shackelford was the ex-boyfriend of Elena's mother. He is currently facing over a dozen sexual assault charges and homicide.
I want to thank the Columbia Police Department and all the detectives that moved swiftly to bring justice for my daughter.
Smith says he's been touched by the outpouring of support from members of the Colombia community. Despite her passing, Smith says he will go forward to keep Elena's memory alive.
If I can do something to change somebody's life, I'm going to be there.
Now you see that, guys? Do you see that? This father, he's in the life, but they're living in a co-parent situation. Remember we talked about the co-parent. This is another stupid word that was created. A co-parent. I guarantee you a man did not create the word co-parent. You ever heard somebody use the word co-parent? It's either a woman or a man that's been conquered by a woman. No male, no self-respecting man, no self-respecting father ever use the word co-parent. I co-parent. What do I sound like? I'm the fucking father, and that's the end of the goddamn story, right? What do I look like as a father? Yes, we're co-parenting. That sounds stupid, guys. Let me read the comments. Yeah, Bryce, I think we got some ghost watchers in the chat tonight. It is what it is. This dude right here, can you hear me? This dude right here was living in a co-parent situation where he lives here. He only gets to see his kids sometime. And the mother has the mother's new boyfriend. Can somebody put that in the chat? I'm going to play this receipt next time when everybody's here. Because I got to play this one again. This one's too powerful not to play that again. There's some of these that I need to play over and over. That one, yes, one of them. And the little girl was killed by her mother's new boyfriend. And this is where I got to show you this again before I get out of here, guys. Not only was the mother killed by the kid killed by the mother's new boyfriend, I showed you the percentages. 70% of kids that are killed by the parent are killed by the mother and the mother's new boyfriend. And so until we're willing to have these conversations, see, why would we encourage single motherhood when the new boyfriend is killing the kid and molesting the kid? Why would we think about that? That's just, okay, I feel like that's a fair question. Why the fuck should we encourage single motherhood when she's going to find a new man and statistically speaking, they're either going to molest the kid or kill them? Statistically. Why are we encouraging this? This is like the craziest thing ever. And so, yes, the government planned this. The government put this shit in our face. But put it this way. I'm gonna tell you like this, Eric. I don't know if he's still in the chat. Eric, I don't eat pork at all. Everybody who knows me, they know I don't eat pork. So much so that even at work, they have beans that have pork in them. I don't even touch them. Right? Now, if somebody came and tried to put a pork sandwich in my face and it was nice and crispy pork and juicy, fall off the bone pork and ham, and it was just juicy and succulent, the best ham and the best pork sandwich you could buy, I'm still not gonna fucking eat that because I don't eat pork. So we can talk all day about what somebody put into your in your face, what somebody dangled in your face to try to get you to bite it. But if you don't eat that, you don't eat that. So yes, the government put these systems in our people's face, but we bit that clearly. We're not talking about when they put the German shepherds on the black man and black woman in America. We're not talking about when they put the water hoses on us. We're not talking about when they put the noose on our neck. We're talking about shit that we bit. We swallowed it. We digested this shit. That's our fault. So when we're talking about the black woman, look at this one right here. Pennsylvania woman is facing charges after her 6-year-old son brought a 9mm handgun to school. What's the number one question? I know we don't have a lot of the people in the chat that we usually do, but I know at least one of you guys in the chat is an everyday listener, everyday student. So what's the number one question we gotta ask when we hear that a Pennsylvania mother is facing charges after her 6-year-old son brought a 9mm handgun and bullets to school? What's the number one question you need to ask, guys? There you go, Pero B. Immediately. Where's the father? That's the question you gotta ask. You see, this is why I said our class, even though it's not a big class, is very important because we're all learning together. So that's why I know I can ask you certain questions and I know you're going to know the answer. Whereas some other people wouldn't know what I'm talking about. If I went to some other people, I'm like, what's the question you need to ask? They're going to be like, well, I don't know. Why, blah, blah, blah. No, the question is, where's the fucking father? Let's read this thing before we get out of here. According to Fox News, police responded to reports at Joseph K. Gotwell's elementary school on February 9, 2023, that a student had a gun. A 6-year-old student reportedly showed the gun and bullets to other students on a school bus on the way to school. When the students got off the bus, a group of them immediately alerted the school secretary. The boy was soon brought into the office and was searched, and they ended up finding the firearm in his bag. Police were called shortly after. The boy's mom, listen to this. The boy's mom, Jasmine Delvin, 30, is faced with charges of endangering the welfare of a child and reckless endangerment related to failing to secure a firearm in her home. Detectives learned through an investigation that on February 8th, the 6-year-old boy found his mother's 9mm handgun in her dresser drawer. After finding the gun, she didn't even have it locked up. She didn't have it in a place where he couldn't get it. It was just in her drawer, right? The DA said the 10-year-old brother took the bullets out and pretended to shoot him. In the middle of the night, detectives learned the boy put the gun into his backpack and took it to school in the morning. The question that you have to ask, and this is why I'm telling you guys, look at this whole story right here. This is why I told you the news is the fucking devil that the Bible speaks of. I'm giving you the news that the news doesn't show. This is the news right here. They gave you all this news on February 9th. This 6-year-old boy had a gun. He went to this elementary school and had this bullets. The woman is 30 years old. She has a felony charge. All of these fucking information. The only information that's important is where's the fucking father? Don't you understand that, guys? Put a 7 in the chat if you understand that all of these words right here are useless.
What?
They're useless. Every single word that you're looking at on the screen is useless. The only fucking thing that you need to tell me on the news report is, where is the father? How come the news didn't ask the question, where's the father? How come none of these stories, look at this, I'm gonna play it again, just real quick. Oh, this one, the other one, they showed the father, but only after the little boy died. Somebody put that in the chat. Did you see the footage I showed where the little girl was molested and killed by the stepdad? Don't tell me I deleted that. I gotta play that next time. The little girl was molested and killed by the stepdad, right? And the dad was there, but he was not living in the house. So now, basically, what are you gonna tell the dad? How about all the feminists? Where are all the feminists at? That's the funny thing. All the dad ran away. How about this dude who played the game how he was supposed to play the game, and he did the co-parent thing, and he lived in his house, you lived in your house, but you got to have the baby all the time. And your dumbass brought some nigga with a record into the house. This nigga got a convicted felon record for breaking and entering and all this shit, and you bring him in the house around the kid. How stupid can you be? me see what else I got, man. I'm sitting on some receipts right here. Ultimately, it comes down to men having to better themselves. This is the ultimate realization, is that regardless of how true all of this is, it comes down to in however you look at it, the ultimate answer and the common denominator is men are going to have to get better. I saw a brother today. I was getting this little champagne right here, right? So I knew I was going to do a little show, so I got some champagne, right? And I was leaving the liquor store, and I saw this brother outside the liquor store. This black man was basically a zombie. You understand me? This black man was basically a fucking zombie. He was walking around like this, like he was literally a zombie. He had a backpack on. The backpack didn't even have nothing in it. It was wide open and inside out. His pants were just completely hanging off. He's just dragging. He looked like a literal zombie walking, this black man today. Grown black man. And I had, of course, I look at this man, and of course I'm sad. I have a million thoughts, but one of the thoughts is, this could be me, or this is some version of me. Don't you realize that? All of this stuff that's going on, all these people, like Eric says, this is a spiritual battle. So all of these people are versions of us, or they took a left turn when they should have took a right turn. We could easily make all of these mistakes that these people are making. So when I talk about this type of stuff, it's never that I'm talking from a high horse. I'm actually trying to speak as an example for a society. I'm using these examples for a larger thing. So even the woman who left her kids at home, or the woman who this, or the man who this, or the man who that, I'm never just making it all about that particular person. The same way when I talk about the Bible, or when you read about the Bible, it's not just about Moses. They wanted that. The reason why the Bible talked about the vulnerabilities of these people is because they wanted to show that these people were similar to you. See, if you just talk about Moses like he's a hero all the time, you're never really going to have that relatability, and you're not going to be able to translate it into your life. So this is why the Bible talked about characters, and they showed their vulnerability, but it also showed that they ended up being great people. And so this is why you can talk about King David or whatever, but it's not just about them. It's about how you can fit into the pages of that Bible, right? And I need to get back into it. I got so much going on, and that's not an excuse. Let me say this one last thing before I get out of here, guys. Thank you guys for joining me. You could have been anywhere in the world, but you're here with me. I don't know what's up with the internet tonight, but not too many commenting, and I did not have too many people pop in. I guess everybody's busy. This was a random show. I didn't expect everybody. I didn't tell anybody I was going to go live, so that is what it is. Maybe next time we'll talk about this. We'll talk about the FBI's investigating the Harris County jail. I'm living out here in Harris County, by the way, Houston, Texas. The FBI is going to investigate the Harris County jail following the death of 32 inmates. Can somebody put that in the chat? 32 inmates have died in Harris County in the past not even a year and a half. And they're not dying from COVID-19. They're not dying from old age. They're dying from blunt force trauma to the head. They're dying from asphyxiation and suffocation. They're dying from starvation and malnutrition. They're dying from not being treated for their diabetes and not being given insulin and stuff like this. We're going to talk about that next time. I appreciate you guys joining me. I just wanted to pop in and give some extra little receipts. You know what I'm saying? It's no big deal. Tell me what you guys think in the chat. Is there any last little remarks or things you guys? Either way, I'm about to get out of here. I appreciate you guys for joining me. Let me see if I have any last little things. I do have these other receipts. I'm just gonna pull them out fresh on Monday because I don't know, something feels off tonight. I hope everybody's okay. That wasn't here tonight. That's usually here because you know I take these classes very serious. So when people don't show up, I get really, really scared, you know. I'm not scared. I don't ever get scared, but I get really alert. So I'm going to save a lot of these videos too. Tomorrow, or not tomorrow, maybe Monday, but I'm not going to come with an official class Monday. I might do an on-the-run class Monday. Okay, I'm about to get out of here. This is the last thing I'm about to show. And remember, when I do classes like this, I never expect to get a lot of views on classes like this because it triggers people and nobody wants to really question their mother, and there's so many factors involved. But there's a reason why I put these videos out. I need it to be in the atmosphere. I'm battling something greater than even myself, so it is what it is. But shout out to, above all things, shout out to the Most High God, and shout out to the black women that do understand the struggle of the black man and you stand with him. You're not unnoticed, and when I do videos like this, it's not against you, it's actually for you, and I know you know that. Shout out to all of you. Holla at your boy, and remember, please vibrate higher.
I woke up this morning, but your side of the bed was empty, black man, from the words that I've said. I've belittled, castrated, made you feel less than. Every time that I stated, I don't need a man. I went on to get showered, to get dressed for work, but my morning was boring, no good morning perks. Looking hella flawless in the mirror, I stand, but no compliments came 'cause I don't need a man. I went in to wake my children and greet them with a kiss, but it takes two to make babies, so no children exist. Black men loving each other and we're cheering it on. Between that shit in prison, black men will be gone. See, the black man's voice is the one that's most feared, but his voice is the voice that my soul hears. When I'm feeling discouraged, saying, black woman, you can, but I can't hear that voice if I don't need a man. Black women, when will we stop believing that lie? A lie created and sent to divide us from our kings, compromising the throne, leaving us unprotected, helpless, alone. See, that shit is foolish outside the game plan. The fuck you mean, queen? You don't need a man. Them white folks and feminists them brainwashed your mind. Black men unimportant? Them motherfuckers lying. See, I gotta bow out of this feminist dance. And for women like me, I must take a stand. See, I'm at my strongest when holding his hand. So not only do I want you, I need you, black man.
Yo, this song goes out to all the teens across America, man, living in single-parent homes, and they mother or father want to pick their boyfriend or girlfriend over you. Remember, parents, kids don't ask to be born. But my story goes a little bit deeper. Come about 88. Yo, this nigga named P. Ruggs, my mom dates him. Swear to God, I hate him. If I could, I would break him. When he come around, her brain sizzle like a steak. Damn, can't Jakes take him? She neglected me. Run around with this punk nigga recklessly. Had her in the tongue, guess she was in ecstasy. First love, very possessive, B. Only excessively, that's a boyfriend or a toy friend, see. let me specify. Her last man took the money, left the guy, desert dry, gave it to D-Rug, she kept her high. When he come around, see her facial, guess it wasn't fragrance, she sniffed it in her nasal. She wouldn't even listen, I told her he ain't faithful, he fucking with on Rachel. Y'all so dumb, making me look disgraceful. He got a girl Hazel, and another white one, with him it be racial. I'm your daddy, I'm that nigga in the alley. I'm your doctor when you need. I'm your cold, I'm your weak. You know me, I'm your friend, your main boy, thick and thin. I'm the monster in your dreams. For my love, you will fiend. Yo, with the deal's done. It's 91, while I'm still strong. On this nigga D-Rugs, his game tight. Every night in the room is strong. Yeah, she doing, but my man unknown. School me too, told me he a mad hoe. He used to pimp him, he could get me mad though. What you mean? Yours more than just your mother. He got other partners, he a foreigner though. The cops don't like him. Illegal alien, can't even say his name on the phone. But yo, get money with him, then leave him alone. Or you be inside the new cuffs, plus a news rush. Told me more about him, then he introduced us. Took me to the block where everybody get him off. Showed me his clientele, ever since hit it off. He was right, D-Rugs got dumb freaks. Men and women love him, got me tangled in one freak. I'm your daddy, I'm that nigga in the alley. I'm your doctor when you need. I'm your cold, I'm your weak. You know me, I'm your friend, your main boy, thick and thin. I'm the monster in your dreams. For my love, you will feel. Yo, now it's 98. D-Rugs, he paid me well. 500 SEL, got me laying at ATL. It's all swell, way beyond the fellas. Now that we together, I think my mom is jealous. Cause he with me now, but see the way I G him? Cause when it come to her, she even paid to see him. Yo, money excite me, but niggas on my block, they got shiesty. Cause I'm with D-Rugs, they don't like me. Tried to snipe me, right before the damn feds had indicted me. You know my mother, her nostrils wide. Too much of D-Rugs left her hospitalized. We both was arrested, stars of the block. Her by cardiac, me by the cops. But for my mother, yo, it's nothing but love. But that's what we get, fucking with drugs. I'm your daddy, I'm that nigga in the alley. I'm your doctor when you need. I'm your cold, I'm your weak. You know me, I'm your friend, your main boy, thick and thin. I'm the monster in your dreams. For my love, you will fiend. I'm your daddy, I'm that nigga in the alley. I'm your doctor when you need. I'm your cold, I'm your main boy, thick. I love y'all. Thank y'all for being here. I'm gonna see y'all next time, probably on Monday.